Happy Friday, Nashville. Next man up, 1025. The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt with you out here at Preds training camp at the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Hockey season is almost upon us. We are just a few weeks away from the opener at Bridgestone Arena. Thrilled to be out here as the Preds are just getting underway with another practice out here at the Fordyce Center. Parker Kelly is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Connor Newt, how's it going? Hope
Hello.
you had a good week at school.
Stop saying that to me. I hope you all stop saying that to me. But yes, it was a good week. I mean, this is cool, man. Like, I've only been to Titans practice. So I'm at the other major team in the area's practice.
Yeah.
So I can cross that one off the list. This is cool, man. I've kind of got hockey fever over the past couple of days. I'm excited for Preds hockey. So.
I am as well, and we're going to have Max Herz on at 10:30. He will give us the lowdown on everything that's going on with the Preds through the first couple of days of training camp. It's an exciting time because, as Barry Trotz said, and we'll get into this later on in the show, but Barry Trotz said they're going to try and prove the experts wrong for the third year in a row. 2 years in a row, it was a good thing they proved them wrong last year, not so much. This year, trying to take that chip on their shoulder from last season and get back into the playoffs. So we'll talk some Preds later on in the show. Connor, before we get into last night's Thursday night football game, I know you had something you wanted to get to.
Oh, my God. Okay, so I have a personal story time for you. So yesterday, I was running some errands. I'm not going to list said places I go to because free advertisement doesn't exist in my world.
No free ads.
No free ads. So I get to said establishment, and I'm wearing an SEC shirt. Not this one, if you're watching, but it was a different one. It was a football one. So I guess this lady was the manager of said establishment. She was a huge sports. I think she was an Auburn fan. She was like, "What's your favorite SEC team?" So naturally, I told her Vanderbilt. I'm just kidding. I told her Kentucky, obviously, and she's like, "As long as you're not Alabama, then you're fine." So we get to a conversation while she's checking me out for my purchased item, and this guy behind me, complete nerd. I think you can kind of infer where I'm at based on what I'm telling you.
That's usually where they congregate.
Yes. He goes in this exact voice. "My favorite SEC team is Iowa State." And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to just be quiet, keep going. Then I go on with my purchase. He keeps chiming in. "We're 4-0 for the first time in program history." And I'm thinking, and I actually did some research just to back myself up on this. Iowa State started 4-0 last year as well. Then here's the kicker. He goes, "Yeah, we're having such a great start to the season. I really think we can win the Super Bowl this year."
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my God, I am about to just unleash on this man. Fortunately, I was a good child of God. I kept my mouth shut and went on with my day. But if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk.
It just kept getting worse there.
I mean, it was like gradually, let's show you how unintelligent I am.
I mean, Iowa State, they might be 4-0, but they haven't gotten into SEC play yet, so we'll see what happens. And anybody who just tuned in, like right as I said that, probably thinks I'm the biggest idiot right now.
You probably are.
Context. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I was like, well, he had me on the hook. The SEC team is Iowa State. I'm like, okay, first off, you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Then we take it with the Super Bowl comment. And I was like, do you watch sports? Do you know what a football it looks like?
Well, yeah, it's interesting because to chime in on a conversation going on
that you're not involved in.
That you're not involved in, you usually would have to have some knowledge, but clearly he didn't.
No, he did not.
No, that's
he was also wearing hoodie and sweatpants in 95-degree weather. So yeah. I think that shows his intelligence level.
I love it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to text or call, we'd love to hear from you. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Plenty to get to on the Titans, getting ready for Titans and Colts on Sunday. But week 3 of the NFL season did start last night. And I've got to say, I will apologize to the Dolphins because me and TD were pretty down on Miami.
You don't
yesterday.
have to apologize.
And I don't think the Dolphins are very good, but man, they held their own last night. 21-21 in the fourth quarter. They had a chance, but the Bills at home, too much. Tua turned the ball over at the very end with 3 minutes left.
He's so bad. Like, I don't understand. I feel bad for him because it's such a great story for him. He's the backup. He comes in, wins a national championship, and then his draft stock goes up. And with all the concussions and injuries he's had, you kind of feel bad for him. But then he goes out and plays football, and you're like, no, I don't really feel bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, Tua was one of those group of quarterbacks where it's like, are we going to find anything better? Okay, let's pay him. But out of that group, I think there's some redeeming qualities with a few of them. I think like Trevor Lawrence, he was supposed to be a generational quarterback, and you're hoping that if you put the right pieces around him, he can reach that potential. Jordan Love, he had only played for about a year and a half or so before they actually extended him, but you're seeing what he's doing now. Tua was the one that really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And I don't know how they're going to get out of that contract, but yesterday he had his moments. He did.
Yeah, he made some good throws.
But throwing into double coverage to Tyreek Hill down the field and just completely airmailing him.
He's
and then
Will Levis with weapons.
That interception was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. So Tua and the Dolphins fall to 0-3. I do think that game does show well on Mike McDaniel. I don't know if he's going to keep his job, but to go into Buffalo on a short week and be in that game down to the final minutes, that shows you that at the very least he had those guys ready to play, which when you're 0-2, you got blown out by the Colts. You blew an opportunity against the Patriots. It could have been easy for them to kind of mail that one in. Mike McDaniel, at the very least, did have those guys ready to play. So I would guess maybe his leash gets a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
maybe this is a Connor Newt opinion. Is there a more unlikable coach in the NFL than Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, I mean,
he's just unlikable.
It was endearing at first, like the way he talked and the way he acted.
Yeah, he's a millennial coach.
Right. It was kind of funny, but now it's gotten kind of old. And he said yesterday in the halftime interview coming back, he said, when you get ops, you have to take advantage of them.
What was it he said the other day?
Shortened opportunities. And I'm like, dude, when you get ops, you got to take advantage.
What was it he said the other day? They asked him, like, what's the key to victory or something? And he's like, well, the best way to win is by not losing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
I think you can see that he's kind of in.
That whole broadcast was a fever dream yesterday.
Yeah.
Like they pan over to a Tyreek Hill at one point, and they're like, hey, guys, don't forget, he's got off the field issues.
Right. Yeah. They did a whole thing on.
And I was like, what relevant? And Al Michaels did a great job of just pushing that aside. And it was like, okay, there's a football game going on, but what was the point of that?
Al Michaels is a legend, of course.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest broadcasters of all time. But he's starting to get into the territory, and it's not just this year. It's been a couple of years where I think he might need to start looking at hanging it up.
Yeah, I mean,
last night wasn't that bad, but there are some broadcasts where it just feels like he doesn't even know where he is at some points.
Yeah.
Yesterday with Ryan Fitzpatrick in the booth, it got a little bit awkward at times. Said he's like, you played for 638 different teams. I'm like,
well, he's not wrong.
Yeah. I like Al Michaels, and I actually think him and Kirk Herbstreit do work together well on those broadcasts. Maybe it's because Kirk has so much experience with
I was going to say.
It's like it kind of allows him to work with some of these guys who may be a little bit older, but
they've been doing this together for 2 years, 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm still not used to Kirk Herbstreit calling an NFL game.
Yeah.
It still doesn't feel right.
I mean, seeing his like flight map that he posts every week.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy some of the weekends that he has, because he does get back Friday to Nashville to watch his son play high school football. And that's where I feel like at some points he's in Ohio though too, because he he lives in two different places. He does live in Nashville too.
Yeah.
So and then he'll go to Thursday Night Football. He'll come back. Then he's going to wherever game day is. Sometimes game day isn't the game he's calling.
Yeah.
And he's got to go all over the place. So, off on a tangent there, but what Kirk Herbstreit does
is he.
Impressive.
And on his flight map.
Exactly. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you have thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. Plenty to get to. We're going to get to the Titans coming up next. Titans are 0-2. don't want to fall to 0-3, especially with a 3-game road trip coming up starting in Houston next week. Can the Titans get a divisional win against the Colts on Sunday? We will get into that coming up next. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up here on 102.5 The Game.
Yes.
Later today on ESPN 94.9 The Fan, the Nashville Sounds take on the Louisville Bats with first pitch at 6:15. Coverage also available on the Game Nashville app and at thegamenashville.com. Sounds baseball on ESPN 94.9 The Fan is presented by Twin Peaks and Family Leisure. Little request here for the bump music from Connor Newt.
I love white girl music. For lack of a better term, that's what it's called.
Selena Gomez is good. She's getting married soon.
Is she?
I think, yeah.
Guess when she's getting married?
Oh, right. She's getting married on it's next weekend, isn't it?
Is it
With
Benny Blanco?
Yeah, with the Penn State Oregon game in Georgia, Alabama.
Yeah.
I can't think of a worse time for a wedding.
Yeah, quick tangent. Did you see the breaking news the other day on Disney Channel? Not that.
Oh,
breaking
that Camp
news.
Rock 3 is getting made. Yeah,
Yes.
I did see that.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Minus Demi Lovato, so we may have to skip that one.
I think I heard that she's gonna be making a cameo, just maybe not.
Yeah,
the whole time.
It feels like it's gonna be like a Major League 3 situation,
right? Which we had a texter, and I'll never remember who it was. We were talking about best baseball movies. Somebody said Major League 3 is their favorite, the Back to the Minors,
it's
which
awful.
I can't get behind that.
Oh, it's so bad.
1 and 2 are both really good.
Yeah, they're about equal.
Yeah,
I would say.
Can't get behind 3. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you have thoughts or questions, we'd love to hear from you. 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's get into the Titans. Week 3 coming up Sunday afternoon at Nissan Stadium. Titans and Colts. Titans need a win. You're 0-2. You've played 2 really good teams. The Colts heading into the season, I don't think we're expected to be all that competitive.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're 2-0, aided by leverage on a 60-yard field goal against the Broncos. This is a game at home against a divisional team that the Titans, on paper, should match up decently for. But who needs to step up the most for the Titans to finally get a win, Connor? We've seen Cam Ward seemingly do enough early on. He needs to be better, but he has not been the problem for the Titans offense.
Yeah.
There's been lots of problems. Offensive line, play calling, wide receivers. On the defensive side, you can't get to the quarterback. What do you think needs to change the most for the Titans to pull off a win on Sunday?
There's lots of ways you could go with this. I mean, you could look at the offensive line and the struggles that have been there. And as Big Joe says, Dan Moore is in witness protection right now because you can't find him. But if you had to ask me one, especially playing Indianapolis, I would say the pass rush, because Daniel Jones has caught some fire as of late for the Indianapolis Colts through 2 games. I mean, they are already deeming him the savior of Indianapolis Colts football. I think if you're able to get to the quarterback with the guys that you're sending to hit the quarterback, then you can take some of that fire away. You can kind of limit the guy and keep him to kind of what he is. Turn him back into Danny Nichols. He's no longer Danny Dimes.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I mean, if Oladejo does what you drafted him to be, and I understand he's a rookie and he's a project guy, but I've had this complaint before. You don't spend a 2nd-round pick on a guy to just not get results. You expect results from that. You need Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat if he's out there. You need them creating pressure on the quarterback. You need Simmons hitting the quarterback. You need to see Arden Key do something. And I get Arden Key, again, another witness protection program member, disappears.
Maybe it's time for one of his 2 good games of the season. They pop up randomly where he gets 2.5 sacks. So we'll see.
Yeah, and then he does nothing the next week. But overall, I think it's just the pass rush in general. Now, I think I don't want to say every other position defensively has been good. The secondary's been awful. They were good last week.
They've had their moments.
L'Jarius Sneed looked really good.
He ran out of gas at the end of Sunday's
I don't want to
game.
hear any slander towards L'Jarius Sneed because I thought he looked really good.
Yeah, no, he made plays, which
maybe
is
his best game as a Titan. You could argue.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can think of anything from last year where he looked that good. I mean, early on last season, he was fine in those first couple of games, but towards the end of like the Colts game last year, I talked about it with TD yesterday. Alec Pierce, he took his lunch money a couple of times for some deep shots down the field. And I know that was after he got the helmet to the quad. So, and L'Jarius Sneed also has not practiced at all this week with a back injury now. So we'll see what the injury report says today when the designations come out. I do agree with you that the pass rush has to be better. You got 2 sacks through 2 games. And you affected Bo Nix decently, even though you didn't sack him outside of the 1 strip sack from Jeffrey Simmons. You got him off his spot. You made him make some bad decisions. Last week, Matthew Stafford had plenty of time. And even when we got the suit sitting here, chasing Big Joe coming up after us at noon, you tried to get to Matthew Stafford. You blitzed him all over the place in the second half, and it just didn't seem to matter. You do have to affect Matthew Stafford.
And look, he's a Hall of Fame level quarterback. Matthew Stafford is.
Right. Daniel Jones is not going to deal with the blitz as well as Matthew Stafford did last week. Like last week, it was so frustrating to watch the Titans sending 6 over and over, and every time Matthew Stafford had an answer. It's like he'd step up in the pocket and he'd know where to go with the football. As good as Daniel Jones has, as much better as Daniel Jones has looked in his first couple games with the Colts, I still think if you can blitz and you can get pressure in his face, and T'Vondre Sweat looks like he should be back this week. If you can collapse that pocket, I think you can maybe force some turnovers, which is going to be huge on Sunday. I would say the most important thing, you got to protect Cam Ward.
Yeah.
I need to find the tweet. I forget who put it out there, but it was a list of all 32 teams and their grades on pass protection through the first 2 weeks.
Oh boy. Do I want to hear this?
Let me go through this.
Is this just going to make me sad?
It's from Computer Cowboy, Ben Baldwin on Twitter. So it puts together PFF, SIS blown block percentage, and ESPN's pass block win rate, and scales it all together to give you a score out of 100 on how you have protected the quarterback.
Let me guess. Is it below 50?
Yes, way below 50. The Titans are dead last in this statistic, and it's not close.
17.
Lower.
Wow. 6.
Lower.
1.
5. 5 out of 100.
That's so
is the
bad.
Titans pass protection score through 2 weeks. The next worst is the Los Angeles Rams at 21, and you sacked Matthew Stafford 1 time last week.
Lord.
So if that doesn't show you that one of the biggest issues with the Titans is you can't affect their quarterback and your quarterback is running for his life, that has to change this week. There are at least a couple of grades where the Titans aren't, well, there's one where the Titans aren't dead last. Actually, 2. The Cowboys' PFF pass protection score is 0. Or at least that might be scaled on like percentile.
Yeah.
Titans are first percentile. They are 8th percentile in SIS blown block percentage and 6th percentile in ESPN pass block win rate.
Yikes.
You got to protect the quarterback.
Not good.
Cam Ward has been sacked 11 times. You cannot have that happen again. Like Cam Ward.
And some of them are somewhat his fault.
Right. No,
like he's taken them.
The sacks can be attributed to all 11 players on offense. Like the offensive line obviously gets the bulk of the blame, but Cam Ward holds the ball too long. And some of the reason that Cam Ward holds the ball too long is because no one's open. Not always. There are times when Cam Ward has passed up some layups because he's looking for the deep shot and he ends up getting sacked.
Yeah.
But the wide receivers haven't been good enough either. You got to protect the quarterback on Sunday. This is not an elite pass rush group. It's a good pass rush group. You got Buckner and Stewart in the middle. You've got Pay, and if Leatu Latu's healthy on the other
unction,
side.
like the kids say. They're all old.
You're not seeing any star pass rusher at this point. DeForest Buckner used to be a star, but he's not going to disrupt a game like he used to. Yes, he is unk. The Titans.
This is what happens when you have youth on the airwaves.
The Titans can't be mid up front this week in front of Cam Ward. They've got to be better. Cam Ward, if he gets sacked 5 times again this week, I don't think you're going to win the football game. And you have to open up those opportunities to take the top off the defense. I've talked about it a few times this week. The Titans have thrown the ball beyond 20 yards downfield 3 times this year.
Yeah.
And
one was a touchdown.
No, not even that one.
Oh, really?
Because, yes, even though Cam Ward ran like 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it only was, I think, 11 yards downfield.
Oh.
So I mean, he threw it 40 yards in the air.
I've heard it all week, but that play was the Lou Brown quote, speaking of Major League.
Yeah.
Great play. Don't ever do that again.
Yep. And that's the discourse around that throw is funny because you're seeing all of this stuff about it. It's a horrible throw. It's not a horrible throw. It's a great throw.
It was a great throw. Problem is he threw it cross body.
It was a bad decision.
Yes.
And that's something you don't want him to have to do all the time. And it's on the offensive line. It's on the receivers. It's on Brian Callahan. Like, you've got to give Cam Ward some easy options so he doesn't have to make plays like that to get you in the end zone. Right? Like,
yeah.
That's the only touchdown the Titans have through 2 weeks. You got to find easier ways to get into the end zone. And I understand it's not simple, These defenses are good, and when you get down the red zone, it becomes a lot less space that they have to cover. But you got to make it easier for Cam Ward. And I think that has to start this week, and that's on the offensive line, that's on his receivers, that's on Brian Callahan.
Yeah, no, and it's a matter of, is your offensive line healthy? I know J.C. Latham has been battling some injuries, and it doesn't look like he's going to be out there this week again. I don't know. It's up in the air. He's listed as questionable, is he not?
They haven't come out with designations yet.
Okay.
We'll get those this afternoon.
Well, I would assume he will be questionable.
I think Paul Kaharski put out when Snead did not practice on Wednesday that he doesn't expect this is going to affect him for Sunday. Let me confirm that quickly.
Well, regardless, you cannot throw John Ojukwu out there again. He's not good. He's not good. Look, everyone's showing up. Adam Vingan's here. Chase is here.
It's the crossover event of the century.
Yeah, I know. This is 4 different shows represented right now, if you think about it. Anyways, your offensive line, I mean, it's on paper, it's awful. You cannot throw John Ojukwu out there at right tackle because he has shown he can't handle playing NFL football. But at the same time, who else are you going to throw out there? It's not an ideal situation, and it feels like it's only going to get worse from here. So you have to find a way to protect your quarterback.
Yes.
An injury will only stunt his growth.
And Jeff on our text line makes a very good point. Guys, some of us go on and on for years about this organization making the O-line the absolute number one priority and get told they have been addressing the O-line. They have drafted players, spent untold millions on shoring up line play. What does that tell you guys? Yeah, I mean, you can't say the Titans haven't invested in the offensive line.
Yeah, they have.
Even with the guys who are not currently on the offensive line, you spent a first-round pick in 2020, a second-round pick in 2021, and a third-round pick in 2022 on the offensive line.
And look, we can complain about Dan Moore all we want, but the fact of the matter is, in this free agency cycle, he was the best available tackle available.
And guess what?
And they signed him.
He's going to play.
Yep.
He's going to be your left tackle. He's got to be better. And if J.C. Latham can get healthy, that would help a lot. Doesn't seem like he's going to play on Sunday. I was correct. Paul Kaharski did tweet on Wednesday. I suspect that L'Jarius Sneed's back issue won't have any bearing on his ability to play, and he'll be fine for Colts. We'll see what his designation is on Sunday. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. If you want to text or call, we'd love to hear from you. Our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We touched on it a little bit there. Titans have 1 touchdown this season through 2 games, 8 field goals. They've gotten the ball across midfield, have not been able to finish. How can they start getting the ball into the end zone? Because you're not going to win with field goals on Sundays. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt out here at Preds training camp at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Next man up here on 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. That was Cam Ward talking about the need to extend drives. Getting across midfield seemingly has been easy for the Titans. They have started on average at their own 42, but have not been able to get into the end zone. Just one touchdown through 2 weeks, and it wasn't exactly the simplest touchdown from Cam Ward to Alec Iamander. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt with you out here at Preds training camp at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. We were just looking down at the Terry Crisp rink, and they got some scrimmaging going on out there.
I know I want to just go watch it, but at the same time, I realize I have a job to do.
Right.
So.
Yeah. We could just wonder how much dead air would play before Parker just started talking if we just sat over there.
Well,
Probably not much.
We could put our headsets down on the ice. I think you'd hear some choice words down there.
Yeah, that is true. That probably wouldn't go over well. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to chime in, our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. So for the Titans, the offense, none of it has been good enough. I mean, we talk about Cam Ward as a bright spot because overall, I think he has looked good for a rookie making his first 2 starts. He's made some impressive throws. He hasn't thrown an interception yet, but he still has a 50% completion percentage, and his yards per attempt is below 5. Not good enough. There are other factors around him that have led to some of those stats drops, and the protection hasn't allowed him to take some of the deep shots that he may want to. But pretty much everything on the offense has to be better. This week, if you're going to win this game, you got to start turning some of those field goals into touchdowns. Joey Sly cannot have 4 field goals again unless you're adding that to 3 touchdowns.
Looks good, though. Man, he looks good.
Hey, I like Joey Sly. It is a Hokie. That is, it's only the 3rd Hokie that has been on the Titans, at least that I can remember. Everyone knows Caleb Farley.
Yeah, Caleb Farley.
And then Vincent Fuller back when I was a kid. But that was
probably before my time. I was probably too little for him.
Did you guys see that video of like the Titans put out on social media of what is one thing that you know better than anybody else on the team? Yes. And they went up to Joey Sly and he just starts naming off all these bicep exercises.
Yeah. His immediate response was curls, bicep curls. I know curls better than everyone. Joey Sly also knows kicking better than everyone.
Obviously, yes.
8 for 8. Talking to Corey Curtis this week, he said that he's killing it on his fantasy team, 15 points in back-to-back weeks.
There you go.
So Joey Sly stepped up. Like, it is good that when you do get across midfield, you feel good about getting points, right? Like, that is important.
Yeah, but that can't be the goal.
Right.
Don't play for 3.
You're not going to win games with 3 points over and over and over. You have to get into the end zone. And so far, the Titans, not only are they not getting into the end zone, they really aren't getting into the red zone very much.
Yeah.
The Broncos game, they had the one where Cam Ward got sacked on 3rd down and you had to settle for the field goal. Last week, you had the touchdown. But outside of that, they're getting to the 35, they're getting to the 40 and stalling out. And it's great that you get those 3 points because Joey Sly's been consistent from 50+, but you got to start to extend those drives. And obviously, there's a lot of factors. I think the big one is staying ahead of the sticks. You cannot have 3rd and 11 from the plus 35. You've got to start making that 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, because that gives Cam Ward more options, and it also helps the offensive line not feel like the pass rushers are pinning their ears back, and Cam Ward's going to be on his back quicker than you can even hear the snap count.
And you know how you do that? Change up your play calling. Put some variety in there. I mean, I don't want to characterize every single drive this season that has been run, pass, punt. But at the same time, it seems like every time the Titans get a first down, it's all right, we'll hand the ball off to Tony Pollard right up the middle, and he'll get maybe 2 yards. Then we're going to either hand it off to Pollard again, or we're going to run a screen to the outside and get maybe 3 more yards. Then you're sitting at like 3 and 5, and Cam has to pass. And then he either gets sacked or Calvin Ridley will drop the ball or it's an incompletion. Or if he does complete it, it's just barely enough to get the first down. And you extend the drive a little bit, but you got to change it up. Don't be afraid to throw the ball downfield. You just mentioned the stat. The Titans have thrown it over 20 yards 3 times this season.
Yep. And
I'm not saying, go out there and the first play of the game on Sunday needs to be a 50-yard bomb down the field.
That's what Ryan in Florida is saying. Ryan in Florida on the text line says the Titans need to set the tone. First play action, deep shot for a touchdown.
I don't know if you'll see that. You every game starts the same, and it's a handoff to Tony Pollard right up the middle.
But see, that's kind of why you might be able to catch him napping a little bit. I'm not saying
Maybe.
I'm not saying that it should be a play action deep shot, but
Do you have the guy to catch that ball? Because right now, I don't think you do.
it's got to be Calvin Ridley.
Can he catch the ball?
I wanted to bring this up. Calvin Ridley needs to have a game on Sunday.
Yeah.
All the talk during preseason and training camp was how great the connection between Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley is, and Calvin Ridley's in for a breakout year, and all the fantasy there. You can't take Calvin Ridley early enough in these leagues with all the targets he's going to get and the way he's matched up with Cam Ward, and it hasn't shown up. He's got 7 catches through 2 weeks.
Made some very crucial drops.
Probably got close to 7 drops too. Not really that much. I would guess 3 or 4, but you need to see Calvin Ridley step up. And I don't think it would be a bad idea. Maybe not first play of the game, like Ryan in Florida is suggesting, but
at one point,
early on, get him in the rhythm of the game and give him a deep shot. Because guess what? You hook up on that, maybe that's the confidence builder that you need for Calvin Ridley, for Cam Ward, and for Brian Callahan of, I can call that play, and our team can hold up enough. Our offensive line can give Cam Ward enough time to make that throw. I think you need to see at least one of those connected on Sunday.
And look, I love Alec Iomanair. I love the pick when they made it. I loved what I've seen out of him in training camp, and I love what I've seen out of him through 2 weeks. That said, I think he's on pace to develop into something nice for the Titans, but he is in his 3rd NFL game. He cannot be your number 1 target. He can't. I mean, if he's your leading receiver, that's fine. But I don't want to see him getting more targets than Calvin Ridley. That's a problem. And the reason for that is Calvin Ridley can't catch the ball. That's a problem.
He was better on Sunday against the Rams. It wasn't a drop on that 3rd down play. It's a ball that you hope he would catch, but Emmanuel Forbes punched that ball out. It was a peanut punch right on the football. It's tough for anybody to haul that in.
I think I made Adam in Portland mad.
We love Adam in Portland. Yeah, Adam says, Brian Callahan needs to prove me wrong and had the best game of his career coaching and protecting Cam. I don't think he has it in him, but I hope he can prove me wrong. If he has a good game, we have a chance, but I think he is a bigger hurdle for us than Daniel Jones. Yeah, I do agree with that for Sunday.
Even after that.
No, I will get to that. I think for Sunday, the Titans are going to be their own worst enemy more than the Colts are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to any Colts fans that are listening, because I know there were –
They love us.
Indy Ben was listening in on Robbie and Rex Road today and had some comments on the Colts. I don't think the Colts are that good. They're 2-0. Great.
They're smoke and mirrors.
A lot of teams start 2-0, and they end up being bad. The Saints were 2-0 last year. They scored 91 points in their first 2 games and then lost 7 in a row after that. So the Colts may be better than we expected at the beginning of the year, but it's not like this is the Buffalo Bills coming to town on Sunday. I think if the Titans get out of their own way, they should have a good chance to win this game.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I'm with Robbie Stanley.
You're picking them?
I think they're going to win.
I haven't picked them yet. I have said that I think they need it. Like Brian Callahan, I don't know if there's going to be a chance to save his job if he loses this game on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think you may have dug yourself a hole too large to dig out of.
You win 3 games in your first 20. That expires pretty quickly in the NFL.
Yeah. I don't think he will be able to dig himself out, because what are the odds after losing, again, 20 of your first 23 games? Or, sorry. Yeah, 20 of your first 23. Is that where we are? No, sorry.
17 of your first 20.
The math is not mathing in my head this morning.
It's all right.
17 of your first
Math's
20.
hard.
What are the odds that you go on the road for 3 straight and take 2 out of 3? Probably not great.
5.
Just
5,
like
they're great.
Just like the offensive line's pass protection grade. Yeah, it's low. So you have to do that, or else you're 1-5 coming back to face Mike Vrabel. And again, I think that's the game that could end up being the nail in the coffin. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. 5774 says, I'm a Saints fan, but living here I keep up, so I think the connection with Iomanair is the one you try to build on. Ridley is what he is at this point in his career. Well, you need both of them. Like, no team has ever been good with just one wide receiver.
Right.
You got to have both of them. So,
and like another texter pointed out, the Titans paid Ridley to be wide receiver 1. And so far, through 2 games of his second season, he hasn't shown that yet.
He's had his flashes, but so far it's not been good enough. We'll get to Adam and Portland's other comment on your takes coming up next. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman and Connor Newt. We are out here at Preds training camp at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Preds gearing up for the new season, which is just 3 weeks away. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingan, who's sitting in the room with us. We'll be broadcasting live at the all-new Circa Sportsbook Kentucky in the Mint Gaming Hall this Monday prior to the Monday Night Football game. Head up there and watch the Lions and Ravens, plus ask about Circa's giveaway of a trip to Las Vegas for the Titans and Raiders game in October. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Getting all Friday.
I love Sabrina. She's one of my favorites. The new album sucked.
She's hosting SNL next month.
Yeah, I don't know what we're getting into with that one. Thank you. Are you catcalling me?
Next man up, 1025 the game. We got the peanut gallery here over at Pred's training camp with us. Adam Vig and Chase McCabe in the room.
I know I need Willie here now.
Yeah, make sure you listen to both their shows later on. Chase and Big Joe from 12 to 3, DVD from 3 to 6. Getting ready for Titans and Colts on Sunday. I thought this was a funny text from Lenny on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. It's so funny to hear you speak of a 2-0 team when your team is 0-2 and you try and downplay the 2-0 start of the other team.
Uh-oh, we've made the Colts fans mad. We did it.
Like, the Colts are 2-0. Let's look at the other 2-0 teams. I have them listed here. We just went through the 0-2 teams during the break. Buffalo, better than Indy. Cincinnati, there's an injury there, obviously, so I think you kind of pull them off the board. Philly's better than Indy. Green Bay, San Francisco, LA. I think Arizona is in a similar spot as Indianapolis, where it's like you're 2-0, but how good are you? Chargers are better than Indy. Bucks are better than Indy. So not all 2-0 starts are built the same.
Yeah,
is what I'm trying to say. Like
the Chiefs are 0-2 right now.
Right. The Colts might be 2-0, but that doesn't mean coming in here that the Titans don't have a chance on Sunday. And I think this is a good opportunity for the Titans to prove there has been some growth. Like, they spent all offseason talking about trying to, first off, stop shooting themselves in the foot and trying to progress as a team. Chad Brinker said in the Jeremy Fowler and Teron Davenport article from earlier this month or last month, saying that the Titans wanted to see Brian Callahan prove that he can progress as a head coach. So far, we have not seen it. They got to show it. They got to show it on Sunday. Adam in Portland did go after Connor a little bit. He says, you're missing the point, dude. How can they throw it down the field like you were suggesting when the pocket collapses immediately? Please emphasize that they need to keep the tight ends in helping or move the pocket. Of course, he needs to be able to take shots, but he can't do that in this offense with this coach. I think the point, Adam, is like the team's just got to execute better. Like, you can't.
Well, he's got a point. He does. Cam does not have time to throw the ball, and I should have prefaced with that.
Right.
But at the same time, do you want to keep with the offensive line you have? Do you want to keep running the ball? Do you want to keep throwing these short yard gains, or do you want to see what you have and roll the dice and throw it downfield?
Like, if you want to win games, you can't just say, well, our offensive line can't block, so guess we're never going to throw the ball deep. Like,
precisely. You
have to execute. And I think Adam makes a good point there that, like, maybe that means you keep an extra tight end in, or you keep Tony Pollard in to block.
Yeah.
But, like,
do you have the tight ends to block?
You're playing NFL football. You have to be able to throw the ball downfield, or else you're never going to be able to do anything. I think that's a large reason why Cam Ward's completion percentage is down. Part of it is that he's not taking the layups. Adam in Portland also says that earlier this week I said Cam needs to just make regular throws. That's what I'm talking about, is like he needs to take what's given to him. Part of it is you haven't taken the top off the defense. You haven't proven that you can beat the safeties over the top. They're just going to keep creeping down and creeping down and taking away the stuff that you actually are trying to get. So the Titans, they have to be able to take shots. Part of that's on Brian Callahan. Part of it's on the offensive line. But, like, you just got to execute better to get those opportunities for your offense. As Mike McDaniel said, when you have the op for a big play, you've got to take it.
Op. Do you think he spells that with 1 P or 2?
I don't know.
Because 2 P is like, that's what they use on the West Side in gang culture.
It made me giggle last night.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
I like that, blood.
Oh my gosh. Don't get us canceled, Connor.
It made me giggle last night saying that, or hearing Kaylee Hartung ask Mike McDaniel, like, what has your team done well? What do you need to do better? And Mike McDaniel, well, when you have the op for a big play, you have to take it.
Op. Wasn't it
so funny?
He's done a lot of things that I'm like, oh my God, I am more mature than this man right here. Like, remember when he was on the sideline and he had a special Mouska tool?
Yeah.
That I'm not sure I can explain what it is over the air. And he put it up to his mouth, and that's where I'll stop.
No, I mean, Mike McDaniel, he is a character for sure. And he's shown that basically since he took that job with Miami. We talked about it yesterday about whether maybe he would be better in an OC role, maybe in Nashville, if there's a coaching change. I wouldn't hate that, get him back in his element. Some of those play calls he had yesterday were well designed. Like, he does have a feel for calling.
He doesn't have the quarterback to do it, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
Poor
true.
Tua.
And maybe Cam Ward could be that guy. 615-737-1025 is our phone, and we'll get back to your phones. Quickly, though, injury updates. Looks like Tavondre Sweat's going to play. He did say on Wednesday that he'd be out there, and he has been out there on the practice field in a limited fashion for each of the last 2 days. That's good news. Going to help you stop Jonathan Taylor, first of all. And TD went through the stats yesterday of how much better the Titans are against the run with Tavondre Sweat on the field. So that is big. You can collapse the pocket.
And he played well in his first game.
He did. I mean, he had the huge play on fourth down that should have set up the Titans to go down and tie the game, but the offense obviously couldn't cash in. On the offensive side of the ball, it's looking like another game without J.C. Latham. And I just don't know what to think about right tackle. Are they going to do the exact same thing they did last year of just a revolving door of different guys who all aren't very good and just see if any of them can be moderately competent?
And it hasn't panned out so far.
It hasn't. I mean, they went Udo when Latham left the game in Denver. Last week it was Ojukwu. I still don't understand why Blake Hance isn't getting a look. I asked TD about this yesterday, and he didn't seem to have much of a clue why they won't move Blake Hance outside. It's like, put your best 5 on the field.
Let me ask you this. If it snows in January, 9 of the last 9 years, what are the chances it's going to snow on the 10th year?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. That's the explanation for the Titans' offensive line situation.
I mean, I don't get it. Put your best 5 players on the field. And maybe Blake Hance isn't as good as we're all envisioning in our minds. And like maybe it's just an outside view and not what's actually going on in the building.
Why don't you send Jackson Slater out there?
See, I don't know about that because he's a developmental guy. And
Yeah.
I talked to TD about that yesterday with Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon of like, could he be worse than anything you put out there? And he said they don't want to stunt his development.
Yeah.
So I get it with some of the young guys. But Blake Hance is a patchwork offensive lineman that you signed to a 1-year deal in free agency. What is the harm of giving him a shot at right tackle? Because from what we've seen from Ojukwu and Udo, it's not like it could be much worse.
Yeah, no, it's like they find it's kind of like the did you see the tweet the other day about the Bengals? It can apply to the Titans too. It's like there's millions of obese men in the world, and why can't 5 of them just block my quarterback?
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about
it. It is an issue. Not that offensive line has ever been a deep position across the NFL. Like, it's always going to be hard to find offensive linemen, but it feels especially thin the last couple of years. Maybe that's because the Titans have just been so bad, and that's the team I watch the most. But
I just don't get how, game action can stunt someone's development. Like, if you throw Slater out there.
Well, it's like you kill his confidence. If he gets destroyed in his first couple of games, it's like it can be tough to get that mindset back. Like,
I get it, but
you do need live reps, but I think they view Slater and Crenshaw-Dixon as more of redshirt guys. They're going to give them this year to develop under Bill Callahan, who, obviously hasn't panned out as the legendary offensive line coach yet. You're hoping that the offensive line gels. It sometimes does take time for the offensive line to come together.
So we said that all last year.
I'm not completely giving up on this offensive line being improved this year, but so far it has been. I mean, we read you the stats. It's been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be better. If J.C. Latham can get healthy and you get your 5 out on the field consistently, I think it should get better. But better, obviously, it's a very low bar to be better than what it's been. Kevin in Florida says, stop blaming Callahan for this bad team. Bill Walsh wouldn't win with this roster. Multiple years of bad drafts and adding to that bad free agents who underperform. Get better players. For sure.
Like, I'm looking at Adam, and I'm just laughing because I heard him yesterday say this.
The roster is not good, and it hasn't been good for years. So Brian Callahan doesn't deserve all the blame for this team being bad. But has Brian Callahan shown you that he can put the best version of his team on the field? Like, that is what the coach is asked to do.
No, it's a fair point.
You're given a 53, and you have to get those 53 men to perform to the best of their abilities. I don't think we've seen that to this point. So it's not all Callahan's fault, but
you're the head coach.
The head coach doesn't get none of the blame when you go 3-16.
And as pretty much everyone has said, The head coach can't be the reason you're losing games.
Right.
And so far, he has been.
He was in Denver. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. You can text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. This Sunday, the NFL Game of the Week on 94.9 The Fan is the Cowboys versus the Bears at 3:25. The NFL Game of the Week is presented by Circus Sportsbook Kentucky and Macero in 12 South. We will talk about some of the other big games across the NFL this weekend in hour number 2. Also, we'll get into the Predators. Max Hers is going to join us at 10:30 to talk Preds as we are live at Preds training camp out here at Ford Ice Center in Bellevue. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. Next man up, hour number 2. Coming up next, you're on 102.5 The Game. Second hour on this Friday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman and Connor Newt out here at Preds training camp. We are getting close to a new season in Smashville. Preds are on the ice. Max Hers will join us at 10:30 to talk some Preds. Parker Kelly is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. We are going to talk a good amount of hockey this hour, as we are out here at Fordyce Center, Bellevue. But let's stick with the NFL for now. A couple of big games coming up this weekend. We got to see a rematch of the Super Bowl last week, Eagles and Chiefs. That one, kind of a boring game. I mean, it came down to the wire, but Jalen Hurts threw for 101 yards.
It was entertaining from a fantasy perspective for me. Because I have AJ, I have Patrick Mahomes, and I have Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So I was like, give me an offensive masterclass on both sides.
20-17 was the final, and lots of tush pushing. And apparently,
and poor officiating.
Apparently, the tush push may be dying. And we're going to talk the Eagles game here. So this is important. Apparently, the NFL has instructed officials to call the tush push much more stringently.
Good.
Because the guards are jumping on every single play.
Good.
It's a false start. And honestly, they're lining up beyond the line of scrimmage in the first place, basically. But they're jumping. And if the officials start calling that, do the Eagles run the risk of, instead of having 4th and 1, having to go back to 4th and 6?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And punting.
I don't know.
I mean, when the whole talk came up about we need to ban the tush push, I was against it because I think the Eagles execute it so well because they have the personnel to do that. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. So it works for them.
Yep.
That said, I watched the same game you did. I watched the penalties that were not called against the Eagles. It should be stringently harped upon.
Yeah.
That you need to execute this the way that you're supposed to execute it. If you're going to play the game, you got to play by the rules. And obviously they're not doing that. So, yeah, you should crack down on penalties on that.
Yeah, I mean, the tush push, they were able to save it. Jason Kelsey going and giving an impassioned speech to the competition committee last year, the owners at the owners meetings, ended up saving it. But we'll see. Maybe if they start calling those false starts, the tush push becomes a whole lot less effective. Eagles and Rams coming up this weekend. Playoff rematch from last year. Honestly, one of the better games of the playoffs last season.
It's the only close game the Eagles had that all playoffs.
The Rams, they took the Eagles down to the wire. This will be an interesting one. The Eagles, not the same team as last year. They lost a decent amount up front. I'm interested to see how this game goes because the Rams look like a team that can go win the division again on Sunday.
Yeah.
With those wide receivers and Matthew Stafford making all the right decisions, pressing all the right buttons. The defense is solid, especially up front. This is going to be an interesting game. And I think it might show you, are the Eagles going to cruise to the 1 seed, or could the Rams or the Packers end up pushing them for that first round bye?
I mean, the Rams wide receivers, I love Puka Nacua, mainly because he's a known fantasy contributor to the Connor Newt push for a championship. But he reminds me so much, ironically, of the guy he's lined up next to, and that's Devontae Adams. He's not the fastest guy. He's not the strongest guy, but he just gets open and scores. And I mean, maybe that's attributed to his blocking and his offensive line, which is a good offensive line for the Rams, by the way. But they're fun to watch. And Kyron Williams, their young running back, is fun to watch. And Matthew Stafford is just the ultimate field general, it feels like. Like, everything falls into place when he's under center.
It's just, it is tough looking at the Rams and seeing that they have found themselves 2 elite wide receivers in the last 10 years in the draft, outside of the first and second round. And the Titans just keep on wasting first and second round picks on wide receivers. Maybe not as much lately. Traylon Burks would be the only one there.
Yeah,
but
like Corey Davis.
In the past, yeah, Corey Davis was fine. But
Traylon Burks.
Justin Hunter, Dorial Green-Beckham, Kendall Wright. It's like you pick all these guys in the first round.
Don't disrespect Kendall Wright.
Kendall Wright was fine.
I like Kendall Wright.
I mean, he was Kendall Wright what you drafted him to be?
No.
Same with Kenny Britt. Like Kenny Britt and Kendall Wright, I think they fall into kind of the same category of like they were fine players, but like
it's a 1,000-yarder right there.
They didn't end up being stars, which is what you draft a guy in the first round to be.
Kenny Britt,
the
former Cleveland Brown.
The Rams just twice in five years. Puka was twice in about 7 years. They draft guys who end up being top 5 wide receivers in the league with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So, tough. Maybe Alec Guyman ends up being
That's
that
all
guy.
Sean McVay right there, though.
Right. I mean, part of it for sure is that you put him in the right system, and Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford, when they made that trade, was a better quarterback than Jared Goff. I know why they made the trade, but both of those guys are guys who can run that that McVay system.
I'd still argue he's a better quarterback than Jared Goff. Jared Goff just fits that Detroit system so well,
and
has the pieces around him. Like Amon-Ra is obviously a top 5 guy, and
Gibbs and Laporta
and Jameson Williams
that
is coming into his
line.
own. Yeah.
So, but you're right. The situation that they were put into for Kupp and Nacua also probably helped those. But Rams-Eagles on Sunday, going to be fun. The other game to look at, Monday night, we have gotten some really good primetime games, primetime matchups early in the year. Ravens-Lions, that game could end up being similar. And the Bills-Ravens game on Sunday Night Football Week 1 might have been the game of the year in Week 1.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Ravens-Lions. I think that's a matchup of two dynamic offenses, and you could see a lot of points go on the board in that game.
I mean, Derrick Henry likes to put the stiff arm highlight against 2 teams, and he's playing the second team this week. So
Bills and the Lions.
Maybe we'll see it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll never.
As long as he scores more than 2 points in fantasy.
I'll never remember the name. Was it Christmas Eve or right around Christmas? The game the Titans blew out the Lions a couple years ago.
No, Christmas Eve was the Cowboys, right?
No. That was the Josh Dobbs game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the game when the Titans were actually good, like 2021.
I feel like that was
maybe 20.
Yeah. That was a couple days before Christmas.
Where Derrick Henry stiff-armed one of the Lions defensive backs into oblivion. That was one of the first.
Was that the same year as the Bills one?
It might have been.
Who was it for the Bills? He's bounced around the league too. He had beef with Odell Beckham for some reason. Josh Norman was for the Bills.
It was not 2021, so I think it was 2020.
Was it Jeff Okudah? Is that
yes? It was 2020. It wasn't Jeff Okudah.
He was still.
This wasn't like a star. It wasn't like when he got Josh Norman for the Bills. I'll never find who it was. But yes, it was 2020. It was the year the Titans won the division. They were 10-4 after that game, and then they kind of fell apart down the stretch. Lost on Sunday night to the Packers, and then lost to the Ravens.
That was the snow game. I remember that.
Right. That Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns in that game.
That was the snow game.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman and Connor Newt, we are out here at Preds Training Camp at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. And talk some Preds coming up next. Max Hers is going to join us at 10:30 to give us all the information on what the Preds are looking like through the first couple of days of practice. Tomorrow's college football game of the week is Auburn versus Oklahoma at 2:30 p.m. on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Restaurants and Circus Sportsbook Kentucky. Coverage is also available on the Game Nashville app and at theGameNashville.com. We'll talk some hockey coming up next here on Next Man Up 102.5 The Game.
Yes.
Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Got some Tate going here.
Oh, I love Tate so much.
We were talking about her
and
earlier.
then I realized she sings.
I don't know if you saw this. The Washington Capitals put out a video of like these are some celebrities our players won't know, and a lot of them they didn't know. It was kind of like the Rizzler was one of them, all that kind of stuff. But the last one was Tate McRae, and
they all know.
of the players go,
they know.
Oh, that's Tate McRae immediately.
Well, she used to date. I think he plays for the Calgary Flames. Cole Sillinger. Thank you, Adam Biggin.
Who is she dating? She dating
Kid Leroy?
No, they broke up.
Oh, they broke up.
That's why Diego Pavia wants to take her on a date.
That's why Diego Pavia is trying to take her on a date.
She's on the market.
Theo Vaughn has at least DM'd her and seen if he can set it up. So,
and he said, if you don't want to go out with him, I'm also available. So
yeah,
but he's got Diego Pavia's mom to worry about.
Yeah,
so.
Theo's keeping his options open with Tate
He wanted
McRae
to marry a nurse.
and
Here you
Diego
go.
Pavia's mom. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'd love if you would text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Let's talk some hockey. Let's do that hockey.
Yes.
We are out here at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Preds training camp just underway. We were looking out there at Terry Crisp rink between segments there and got to see a little bit of scrimmaging. Saw Roman Josi out there on the ice, which is good to see. This team, heading into the year, we said it earlier, Barry Trotz said he wants to prove the experts wrong 3 years in a row. And 2 years ago, the long point streak got them into the playoffs unexpectedly. Last year, they were all the talk during the summer and then finished with the third worst record in the league. But the good news with this team is that you still have all of those veteran players who are proven commodities at the NHL level. You just need them all to start playing a little bit better this year. And I don't think it's that far of a stretch to see this team start to come into its own if they can get off to a better start than they did last year.
Yeah, you need your veterans to perform. Everyone had a down year last year. Roman Josi,
right?
Philip Forsberg, the guys you brought in, and Stamkos, Marchessault, and Shea, they all had down years. But for me, I need to see some of these young guys take the next step. Like Luke Evangelista, I know he's going through a contract dispute right now, but inevitably he will be back on the ice, I think. Need to see him take a step. You need to see guys like Fedor Svechkov, who kind of was around last year and showed you some flashes, take that step. Zach LaRue, guys like that. And then guys that have been in AHL Milwaukee for a while, like Joachim Kimmel and Reed Schaefer and guys like that. I heard Chase yesterday talking about it. I agree with him. I would love to see Joachim Kimmel beat out, what's his name? Eric Holla. For a line spot, like move Eric Holla down to the fourth line and put Joachim on the third line. I would love to see the youth kind of take over this team because look, Forsberg and Josi and guys like that, we love them. They're great players. They're not going to be here forever. So we need to see the next generation of Predators hockey kind of take over, and that's where youth steps in, and that's where you see some of these guys that you've drafted and that have kind of killed it in AHL Milwaukee, take the next step and develop into primetime players here on the big stage.
Yeah, for sure. You'd love to see the youth step up. You do have to have those. To make a Titans comparison, Van Jefferson can kind of be your Eric Holla. Like you bring him in as a veteran guy who can be the placeholder for some of the young guys to step up. And you'd love to see that happen sooner rather than later. The youth does have to improve. I think the biggest thing for the Preds this year is for sure the guys who you are paying to be your stars have to actually be your stars this year.
Yes.
Like you mentioned it, that the new guys coming in didn't have the years that you were expecting with Stamkos and Marchessault and Shea. But even Philip Forsberg, and I know Roman Josi missed a good amount of time, but that five has to be better along with Ryan O'Reilly and UC Saros. Like you just extended UC Saros on an 8-year deal, and
which is in effect now.
Right. It is now in effect, and you are tied to UC Saros for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be a Vezina level goaltender.
Well, goaltending in general, I think, because you have Eustace Onanen now as your backup, and again, he was one of those younger guy, showed some flashes last year between the pipes, but overall, he was, times he was effective. There were times he weren't. And look, he's a backup goaltender, but he's not going to see the ice as much as, UC Saros is, but you still, it's like a pitcher, right? You want to see your third guy in the rotation be just as effective as your ace. So
no, that is true because Saros isn't going to play every game.
Yeah,
you do need the Annunen to be effective when he is out there, and we saw that at times last year. I think Saros is a huge part, obviously, of this team getting back into the playoff conversation. And he wasn't horrible last year.
No, but he wasn't.
But when
he wasn't, the
right.
contract you're paying him, he wasn't effective.
When you sign him to that deal, you need him to not just be capable, you need him to be good. And that the same could be said for the skaters with Marchessault and Stamkos and Shea. You bring those guys in, you make the huge splash in free agency to try and go for it after your team made the playoffs back in 2023, 2023-24. And obviously it didn't work out last year, but you didn't sign these guys to 1-year contract. They're still around, and you need those guys to step up along with the youth to get this team back into the playoff conversation. And again, we talk about it in hockey as much as we do about baseball. If you get in, you've got a chance. Mm-hmm. And this team has to be in the playoff conversation.
I mean, I would argue that the Stanley Cup playoff is the hardest playoff to win in professional sports.
I agree.
Because it's so unpredictable.
Yep.
And baseball would probably be number 2. But it's one of those where if you're hot, you have a good chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
No matter where you're seated. So,
yeah, no, it's baseball and hockey. It's the randomness of it, right?
Yeah.
Like basketball, if a guy is a 45% shooter, over the course of the playoffs, he's probably going to shoot around 45%.
Right.
Football, if a team is good all year, they're probably going to play pretty similar to the way they did all year. Now, teams have bad games. We've seen it before. Titans in 2021. Like, it doesn't always work out that way. But in hockey and baseball, baseball, it's a round ball and a round bat. There's plenty of luck involved there.
Yeah.
Hockey, we talk about puck luck all the time. It's like if the puck hits half an inch to the left or the right, it can change the game in a huge way. So if you get in and you get enough bounces to go your way, you got a chance. And this team, the way it's constructed, they have to be in the playoff conversation. It can't be like last year where at Thanksgiving, basically, you're looking around and
they were out of it. But the old saying is you can't win the Stanley Cup in October, but you can definitely lose it.
Yep.
They were out of it 2 weeks into the season.
Right.
So can't have that again.
I mean, starting 0-5 is not a recipe for success. And it's a long season. You play 82 games for a reason. So it doesn't preclude you from going to the playoffs. But when you start 0-5, it just felt like that was such a punch in the mouth.
It was a kick in the crotch.
This team just didn't get back up and fight as much as they needed to. So I think you need to get off to a good start this year. And it starts with the veterans. They have to be better than they were last year. But I would like to see some of the youth movement. I mean, I know Tanner Molendijk hasn't been out on the ice yet.
Brady Martin.
They said he's day-to-day. Brady Martin. I mean, fifth overall pick. You bring him in over some of maybe the more developmental prospects that were in the draft. See if you can if he could be out there some point this year.
I mean, you could theoretically, I think you could send him out there.
Right.
The first, I'm not exactly sure the number. I'd have to ask Adam during the break, but there's a certain point you can send him out there and then send him right back to college.
Yep. Or juniors.
Yep. Which is what I would do.
I agree. I think you at least have to give him a chance, especially with the center depth that you have on this team.
And guess what? If he goes out there and he does nothing, then he's a rookie.
Right. And you don't lose anything by doing that. So I would like to see Brady Martin out there, and we'll keep watching practice in between segments here. Max Hirsch is going to join us coming up next. He's going to give us all of his insights on what he's seen from practice so far. He's been out here the last couple days looking around at what the Preds have been doing. Are you going to the Titans-Colts game this Sunday? Then you should stop by John Bon Jovi's before you head to Nissan Stadium and join 102.5 The Game for the pregame show with Big Joe, Derek Mason, and Chris Sanders from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Pregame show is brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment, Old National Bank, Circus Sportsbook Kentucky, and Tennessee Brewers. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt out at Preds training camp. Parker Kelly back at the Game Nashville studios. Next man up here on 102.5 The Game.
There you go. You're like a sideline reporter.
Next man up, 1025, the game, Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, live from Preds training camp at the Ford Ice Center, Bellevue. And we are now joined by our good friend Max Hers from Preds Radio. Max has been out here at practice the first couple of days of training camp. He's even moving over with the mic so he can watch while he talks to us here.
He's on the clock.
Max,
what
have you seen the first couple of days here as the guys get back out on the ice?
Hi guys, thank you for bringing up microphone to the really long court so I can look away from you guys and stand at the window here and watch the scrimmage. But it's been good. Things feel pretty good with the team right now. Obviously, there are a couple of guys who they wish were out there who really matter to the team in camp who are not. Luke Evangelista, because he hasn't signed a contract yet, and top prospect defenseman Tanner Molendijk, who is day-to-day with an injury. He's been skating separately from the group, and hopefully will be back soon and can make a push to make the team. But the energy's been good. It feels better energy than last year right off the bat, and I think you've seen what you need to see on day 1 and 2.
Max Hers from Preds Radio is with us. Technical difficulties. We're trying to get I'm sure you can hear him faintly from over there, but we're doing our best to get this mic going here. Fred's out of training camp again. This is day 2. Yeah, let's get Max the headset here, and we'll try and figure it out. Again, Max out here at training camp for the Preds over the last 2 days. Hi, Max. Now we can hear you, and all the listeners can hear you.
It's okay. My first answer wasn't very good.
No, we really appreciated it. Adam in Portland letting us know that they can't hear you. Now you can hear Max Hers. Max, the veterans last year that they brought in, obviously disappointing to make all those big splashes and still end up well out of the playoff race. But do you think those guys have been able to adjust a little bit better being part of this culture and part of this system for a full year now and can really hit the ground running in their second season?
Yeah, and Steven Stamkos said it yesterday in his press conference that he just feels so much more settled. He feels so much more comfortable. And I think there's a lot of anger from those guys to want to come back and be better this year. Stamkos, Shea, Marchessault. That's the highlighting trio, obviously, of the guys who came in last year, but it's the whole group, really. It's the guys who came in midway through last season. It's the few new additions this season who are kind of catching the vibe from the rest of the team of how much they want to make up for last season. So I think you can feel it across the board.
Roman Yost, there we go. Do we got it now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay, perfect. Connor Newt, go ahead.
Hi, Max. I feel like a sideline reporter right now with a handheld mic.
Now we can't hear you again, too.
Oh, you can't hear me again?
I guess not. That's fine. Well,
I'll ask my question anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
As far as the young guys out there, we mentioned Tanner Molendijk, and we were talking about Andrew Gibson during the break, and guys like that. How have the young guys meshed well with the veterans, do you think? The pairings I've seen out there, it's Nick Hague and Roman Josi together, Nick Perbix and Brady Shea together. How does the youth mesh well with the kind of more experience on this roster?
Well, I think it's a conscious effort in camp to give those prospects, whether they're guys who have a chance to play this year or not, a chance to play with the NHLers in drills, in scrimmages. And Barry Trotz said yesterday he wants the vision for a lot of the forward lines by the time the season starts to be 2 vets and a young guy. And I think that plays well, especially for someone like Svechkov, who I would really like to see play with Stamkos. The times he played with Stamkos last year, and the one that really sticks out in my mind was 3-on-3 when he set up the Stamkos hat trick goal in overtime against the Blackhawks. That's the type of guy who can really help someone like Svechkov thrive, grow his point total. And I think Svechkov would be good for Stamkos too. So I think it goes both ways. And Tanner Molendijk is working his way back from what seems like a minor injury that he suffered in rookie camp last week. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Molendijk play shifts with Josi in preseason games, things like that to really throw these guys into the fire. Put Brady Martin at center on some shifts with Philip Forsberg, who he lived with for about a couple of weeks ago and had some fun with. So, they're mixing up the groups, and those D pairs you said, the 2 free agent or not free agent additions. Perbix is a free agent. Hague is a trade acquisition. It looks like that's going to be the first look at the top 2 pairs, Hague and Josi on the top pair. And as of now, Hague has been on the left. Josi has been on the right. I think they're going to try both sides of that. And Shea and Perbix, I think could be a solid second pair.
And then the rest of the D-core is really interesting from there because I think Justin Barron is a lock to make the team with how he played at the end of last season. But then you've got this whole group of guys who played last year, and it's a deep group. And then you've got Molendijk, too, competing with someone like Adam Wilsby, who I think has been the best player at camp the first 2 days.
Yeah, I heard Brunette say that yesterday, too.
Yeah, he's been amazing today, too. He's moving incredibly well. He's back from injury. You can tell he's 100%. And he looks better than he did at any point last year. And he had moments last year where it was like, oh, my God, this guy came out of nowhere. And Nick Blankenberg, who you could say was the Preds' best defenseman last season, which is crazy to say in retrospect, but it's true. Nobody's really thinking about him making it. And then you have Spencer Stastny, who's back at camp this year after missing camp and not joining the team till midway through last year. You got to think he's got a shot. So it's a lot to be decided here, especially at the bottom of the roster with the young guys really getting the green light to make their push and earn something.
As far as goaltending goes, we were just talking about it. UC Saros' contract is now in effect. You're committed to him for the next 8 years. And, of course, Justus Annunen is in goal behind him. What needs to improve for the goaltenders this year to kind of establish some more success early on in the season?
I put very little of last season on them, if anything. And I felt that way pretty much the whole time. I think Saros was left hung out to dry throughout the season, and they've made some defensive system tweaks. They say we haven't seen those in action yet, so I can't really give you any information about what they are because we haven't seen them yet. But it's been clear like they want him to see more pucks, and that's why Nick Hague is on the team. You trade someone incredibly valuable in Colton Sissons because you want that big defenseman in Nick Hague. Who, I know Jay Moore's favorite player, Colton Sissons, is in Las Vegas now, and we wish him the best of luck. They are a great Pred, and he had 1 year left on his contract, and they were able to agree to a sign and trade with Hague to give him a big extension, and he's going to be on the top pair, it looks like, and he's going to be defending the net front. So I think that's what has to happen for those guys. And Annunen was on the team for so much of last season, we forget that he wasn't on the team at the beginning of the season. So this is his first training camp as a Pred after they traded for him on Thanksgiving. And I think he's the perfect backup. Him and UC Saros are really close. They're different enough too that it kind of provides some balance in the starter backup role. And down the stretch last year, since they knew that Saros was going to be going to the World Championships for Finland, and he's played so much the last few years, they played Annunen a lot. And I think if it gets to that point again where there's any thought of fatigue because Saros will presumably be in the Olympics this year, it's going to be a lot of hockey for him. And hopefully Annunen can be in the Olympics too. I mean, there's certainly a chance he's the 2 or the 3 for Finland, but that's your duo. And everybody else on the depth chart is back too. Both AHL goalies are back. So I think goaltending is the biggest check mark that is going to be what it should be coming in this year, as long as everybody in front of them makes the adjustments they need to.
You mentioned Brady Martin living with Philip Forsberg, and some of that veteran presence from Philip kind of rubbing off on him. You take a guy 5th overall, there's going to be high expectations for him. I know there's been talk about him possibly making the team out of camp. What do you think a guy that young needs to do to prove that he deserves to be on the team from day one?
I think he needs to do a lot, but I don't think it's impossible. That's for sure. And I think he had moments in the rookie tournament games, which you really just show and go for those. You have 1 or 2 practices with the group. You've had development camp a month or so earlier, but you just kind of get there and you just play. And in the first game, Martin was really good, and he contributed offensively. He helped them defend a lead. He was a 2-way top line center. And then Barry Trotz wasn't shy to say that he wasn't perfect in the last 2 rookie games there. And it was interesting to hear because they obviously are really, really high on him. So it was good to hear that honesty that he has a long way to go, but he's out here in the scrimmage right now that I was trying to watch through the window, but sadly couldn't. He's playing with Philip Forsberg on a line right now in scrimmage. So they're going to give him every chance in the world. I think what he does in the games means more. And we got to remember, too, just because he was the 5th overall pick does not mean he has to make the team in any way. This was not a deep draft at the top. There's a chance that only one player from the draft plays on opening night, and that would be Matthew Schaefer from the Islanders, who went 1st overall. There's a chance it's only him. So we'll see as preseason goes on. But I don't think it's impossible. That's for sure.
Most important question of the day for you, Max. and it's very, very important. What do Predators fans need to do to get a third jersey for this team? A third sweater?
Tweet at you, I guess. I don't know.
Tweet at me? Well, if they tweet at me, I'm going to petition for a Philip Tomasino statue outside of Bridgestone Arena. So
good luck with that.
Yeah, not sure that one's going to happen. Max, appreciate you taking some time. Looking forward to the season. Can't believe it's only a few weeks away. We got preseason doubleheader on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So,
we'll be on the radio all day Sunday. The first game is at 2:00. The second game is at 6:00, both at Bridgestone against the Panthers. We will be on the radio from 1:30 till probably about 9-ish.
yeah,
going at it
marathon.
all day. So we know the Titans are home too, right down the street. So if you're driving around, going to the Titans game, leaving the Titans game, coming into the Preds for one game, coming in and out, we'll be on the radio the entire time, and all 6 preseason games, plus the Gold Star Showcase in Clarksville next Thursday, will all be on 102.5 The Game.
love it. Make sure you listen in. Max, appreciate your time, and looking forward to a new season getting started.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Anytime, I'll be back with you.
Max Hers from Preds Radio joining us here on Next Man Up. We'll react to what Max had to say coming up next. No more technical difficulties, hopefully, as well. Next Man Up, 102.5 The Game. The Commodores return to First Bank Stadium tomorrow to take on Georgia State. Pregame begins at 5 p.m. on 102.5 The Game with the kickoff at 6:30. Vanderbilt football brought to you by Gary Force Acura, Jimmy Kelly Steakhouse,
I'm so
and
disappointed
Smoky
in you.
Mountain Tops.
I was getting all the tea on which Predators dated which media members in Nashville, and you ruined it.
Chase was telling a story, but show comes back, we go on air. The show must go on. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelly, Connor Newt with you. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Me and Connor out here at Preds Training Camp. Great to speak with Max Hers for a couple of minutes from Preds Radio. And again, you can listen to Preds Radio for the doubleheader on Sunday to start the preseason. Good stuff from Max there. I think the one big thing that I took from him was about the goaltenders. Connor,
yeah, I was surprised about that.
Yeah, Max basically said he's like, Preds shouldn't have to worry about goaltending this year. And I do understand that like sometimes the defense just makes the goalie look bad, and there are some shots that no goalies are going to stop.
Yeah.
And last year with Roman Josi missing a bunch of time, it makes sense that UC Saros maybe didn't statistically have the year that you would have hoped for him. He says that they've made some defensive system adjustments. They've brought in some new guys in Nick Hague and Nick Perbix. You've also got Tanner Molendijk, who hopefully will be healthy soon. Spencer Stastny, as Max mentioned, is back in camp this year. So you would hope that the defensive issues would start to go away a little bit more, and that hopefully helps out the goalie as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I would 100% agree with his assessment that little to none of it was on the goalies.
Right.
But I see what he's saying. You have to have a competent defense in front of your goalies. It's like baseball, right? A pitcher can be phenomenal in a game, but if a hitter makes contact and the defense doesn't do its job behind the pitcher, then that's a pitcher stat. It makes the pitcher look bad. ERAs are a pitcher stat.
Yep. And so it doesn't always reflect what the pitcher did, what the goalie did. We were talking about how the Titans have given up 11 sacks. Most of that falls on the offensive line, but there's obviously more around it that you need context to describe some of those stats. So I thought that was interesting from Max talking about how he thinks goaltending not going to be an issue this year for the Preds. And again, when you sign UC Saros to an 8-year extension with that much money, you hope that goaltending is not going to be an issue. And again, the Preds hoping that UC Saros can get back to his elite level form. We're going to be joined shortly here on the show by Preds winger Michael Bunting. Excited to speak with him after he wrapped up practice. Continuing to talk Preds here. Also talked about Brady Martin a little bit and how it's going to be an uphill battle for him to try and make the team out of camp, expectedly. When you're a rookie and you're working your way in as a teenager, it's not going to be easy for you to make the team, but I think
it's a possibility.
He did say that it's not impossible to see Brady Martin on the team for opening night.
I would make him earn it because he is a rookie and he has a long way to go before he's a regular on an NHL lineup. But at the same time, kind of like we were saying, Jake, I would be okay with them starting him on opening night here, Bridgestone Arena against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think it's October 9th is their home
Thursday.
opener. It's a Thursday. I would be 100% on board in seeing him in that home opener because what do you have to lose by not playing him? I mean, if you play him for a select amount of games and then send him right back to juniors, you lose nothing. Financially, you lose nothing. You still have his rights. You don't have to send him to Milwaukee. You lose nothing. So I would be perfectly comfortable with sending him out there for a few games to start the season just to see how he plays with these veterans and how he plays with the current lineup. Because to be honest with you, when he finally comes up and he is a regular on this lineup, chances are the lineup today is probably not going to be the same as it is in a couple of years. So
Right. And
see what the kid has.
You didn't draft Brady Martin for this year. That wasn't when you picked him 5th overall. It wasn't to plug and play, be in your lineup.
That's the NHL in general.
Right. The NHL it's not quite baseball. And honestly, baseball has kind of turned into a little bit more plug and play. You're seeing more and more guys come up in their first year after being drafted. But it's not quite baseball where you got to work your way through 3 or 4 levels of minor leagues to finally get up. And sometimes it takes years. Brady Martin's going to be on this team sooner rather than later. but I don't know if it's going to be right off the bat.
Here comes Michael.
I don't think it's going to be immediately. So we'll see what works out with camp. The Preds, again, just starting training camp out here at Fordyce Center, Bellevue, and we are pleased to be joined now by Preds winger Michael Bunting after practice. Michael, thanks for taking some time. What's the first couple days been like to be out there on the ice?
It's been good. It's been fun to get back into it. Obviously the summers are good, but they're long and they're not really like game like you can practice as hard as you can. But once you get out, the training camp is totally different with the physicality and just the tempo. So it's good to get real practices underway, and I'm excited to start some games up here.
I'm sure it was a whirlwind for you being traded at the deadline last year and coming in here mid-season. Has it been nice throughout the offseason to kind of settle in and you can prepare a little bit more effectively for this upcoming year?
Yeah. The trade last year definitely came as a shock. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was sitting down for dinner when I got the call, and away I was going to Nashville. So, I know that was definitely shocking, but you know what, landing in Nashville, I was really excited when I heard it was that. This is where I was coming. I was excited, and obviously, you know, we want to bounce back from last year. I was able to come in for the last month or so last year and, you know, get familiar with everybody, get familiar with the guys, and everyone seems really great. And, you know, we have a close group here, so we're all really excited to, you know, bounce back from the way things went last year.
And kind of building off of that, Michael, you're obviously relatively new to this city, relatively new to this organization. How have the guys in the locker room kind of welcomed you, the veterans around there?
Yeah, they've been great. We have a lot of, vets that have won in this league and know what it takes to win. So that's really cool to, you know, be coming to a team with that kind of caliber. And then especially with a captain like Yost, you know, he is probably the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. So, and he's also an exceptional player. So yeah, no, they've welcomed me with open arms, and honestly, it's been very easy. The transition has been easy, and it feels like I was there all last year, even though it was only a month. So it was really easy coming in this year, obviously knowing everybody.
Talking to Preds winger Michael Bunting here with us at Preds training camp. Michael, I understand Andrew Burnett has kind of made it known that he wants to make some offensive adjustments for his system. How have you seen those in full force through the first 2 days of practice?
Yeah, he emphasizes that, you know, the puck's our friend, and you want to make smart choices with it and not kind of just be lax with it or make a hope play and stuff like that. We want to have possession most of the game. We want to keep the puck on our sticks and make that strong play. And he's definitely, you know, brought the tempo from the first two days of skates. Yesterday's skate was hard and it was good, but that's what we need. We need to get ready, and right from day one of training camp, we're all getting prepped and ready to go for this year.
The veterans like you and Stamkos and Forsberg, Marshall, so they're going to get all the headlines. But what have you seen from some of the young guys out there in the first couple days of camp as they've come in here and trying to earn their spot on this team?
Yeah. Obviously, you know, us older guys, you know, we've been in many camps for, I think this is my 12th camp since I was in junior. So, you know, I'm used to them. But yeah, you just try to give them as much advice as you can going by when you're chatting with them. Just kind of tell them just play their game. They're here for a reason and be relaxed. But I think all the young guys have done a very good job. They're keeping the pace up. They're flying out there. They're showing their skill off, and seems like everyone's pretty comfortable and confident. And us older guys just try to make it as welcoming as possible.
What have been your focuses this year as you try and improve and play a role in this team?
Yeah, I think I went into the offseason knowing that it's a big year, for the team and myself, and we want to bounce back hard. So I went in the offseason trying to get stronger, bigger, and I feel like I'm, you know, my area of the game is the hash marks down. So if I can get, you know, a little bit of weight on myself and, you know, make it harder for the D to, you know, push me out of the way of the front of the net or in the corners when I'm grinding away, I feel like I wanted to emphasize that. And I feel like I have done that, and also keep my speed up. I feel like my speed's still there. And even though I put a little bit of weight on, my speed is still one of my advantages.
You kind of caught a little bit of fire at the end of last season. How are you sustaining that momentum heading into this year?
Yeah, I think when I first got traded here, I was coming off of my appendix surgery. So I wasn't even ready to play when I first got here. So I was coming in, new system, and then obviously being out for 2 weeks and my legs under myself under a new system. It was tough, but, you know, I don't want to make that as an excuse. But once I feel like 6 games under my belt, I started getting more comfortable, getting my game back. And then I started going on a little bit of a run of, you know, helping the team produce offensively. And that's my game. I feel like that's when I'm at my best, is when I'm playing on the edge, playing in the other team's face and helping the team, score goals or anything like that.
Last one from me for you. I know you just celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday to you, first of all.
Thank you.
What was the celebration like? What'd you guys do?
Honestly, my birthday the last 12 years hasn't been the best because it always lands on first day of camp. So.
Yeah. So happy birthday to you. Look at that.
So I came in and I did a bike test. So that was happy birthday to me.
There you go.
After that, me and my wife went out for dinner. Just the two of us, early dinner, 5:30. So that was probably the earliest dinner. I was exhausted. I wanted to get back to
in bed by 8.
Yeah, exactly. In bed by 8 and ready for the next day of skate. So nothing exciting for my birthday, unfortunately.
Joined by Michael Bunting live here from Preds training camp. Last one for you, Michael. Last year, I know you weren't around heading into last year, but there was a lot of excitement about this team with all of the big moves that they made. Do you feel like this year's version of this team has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder, being slept on a little bit and trying to prove some people wrong heading into this year?
Yeah, I think last year, I wasn't here at the start, but just my guess is just more of an adjustment period for guys like Stammer and Marchie that have been in teams almost a long time, a really long time. Stammer was with Tampa his whole career. So that's an adjustment to come over to a new team and get situation with the system. But I feel like they still did a very good job last year. But now going into this year 2, chip on their shoulder and wanting to prove some people wrong here. And I think that's all of us. I think we have the talent, we have the experience, and we have, the belief in our group that we can bounce back from last year. I think that was just, just a little bit of a hiccup on the way. So we're all really excited to get this season going.
Michael, really appreciate you taking the time and wish you the best of luck this season.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
We'll
Thanks,
take
Michael.
a quick break. We'll be back hour number 3 coming up. Next man up here on 102.5 The Game. Final hour on this Friday. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt live at Preds training camp here at Ford Ice Center, Bellevue. Great talking to Michael Bunting there. Preds winger joined us for a couple minutes there at the end of the hour. And that's a guy that maybe we aren't talking about enough who could end up being an X factor for this team this year.
I like him. He's shown, we were talking to Adam during the break. He's shown the ability. He's able to break out. Obviously played in Toronto on Austin Matthews' line, which is not something a lot of guys in the league can say that they have succeeded in that situation. So he's shown the ability to break out. And look, he caught momentum. He caught some fire at the end of last year. So I'm hoping he's able to sustain that momentum heading into this year and be an X factor for the Preds.
Yeah, I like what we heard from Michael Bunting. Said he's made some changes, put on a little bit of weight, but feels like he's staying fast. So excited to see what he does, excited to see what the Preds do. Justin from Greenbrier on our text line says, I just want the Preds to look like a competitive team this season. They looked so mediocre last year that it was hard to watch. I feel good about them being better than last year.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Again, it's a low bar, but
something about the Titans. Though,
I think they're going to improve, and I think these veteran guys are going to start to find their spots in this lineup and in this system. So, been fun talking Preds. Again, Preds out here at training camp. We'll be out here to the end of Chase and Big Joe show. Chase and Big Joe will both be out here as well. So plenty of Preds talk coming up the rest of the day on the station. I do want to get into some college football. We haven't talked a ton of college football this week. Last week, obviously, was a big week with the two in-state teams playing ranked matchups. Tennessee hosting Georgia. Vandy went on the road to South Carolina. So maybe not quite as big of a week locally with Vandy hosting Georgia State. That's a game. Revenge game from last year.
Yeah.
Commodores, a game you have to win. These next two are must-wins if you want to keep yourself in that playoff
One of my
conversation.
proudest predictions, too.
Oh, yes, you did. You picked Georgia State last year.
I lone wolfed it.
You did, and you were correct. I think Vandy is going to have a little extra edge tomorrow night at First Bank Stadium. That is I don't think it's going to be close.
No, it's
6:30 kick, 5 o'clock pregame right here on 102.5 The Game. Tennessee hosting UAB. Again, that's like a 35-point spread. It's they're going to be blowouts. But
I think they cover with ease on that one.
Yeah, Tennessee, the one thing you'll say about Tennessee under Josh Heupel, they put up points on bad teams.
Yeah.
Was it Kent State last year?
Yeah, who was the worst team in FBS football.
Yeah, and they were up like 45-0 at halftime. So
yeah,
I don't worry much about the local teams heading into this weekend. But we do have some big games in college football. One that I didn't even realize was a top 25 matchup, Utah Texas Tech. Sneaky.
That's where
top
game day should have
25
gone.
matchup. I agree. Reese Davis has come out and defended the choice of Florida Miami. I don't like that pick.
Do like the guest picker, though.
Who is the guest picker?
Matthew Tkachuk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I do actually like that. Because, Miami, there are so many choices. To go to a hockey player, I kind of like it.
Well, he plays in Sunrise, which is just a couple miles outside of South Beach.
Right,
so.
for Coral Gables. So I like that. I don't think it's the right choice for game day.
No.
Utah Texas Tech is good. And how many times are you going to have a chance to go to Lubbock this year? Probably not many.
Yeah, you could see Pat McAfee tossing tortillas at
or
people.
is that game in Lubbock or is it in?
I think it's in Lubbock.
It's in Salt Lake.
It's in Salt Lake. Okay, gotcha.
Never mind.
I wrote Utah-TTU, and I assumed that I put the home team last, but I messed it up. In Salt Lake, that could be a fun one. That could be a fun one. That's a noon kick, 11 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to start your day. The game of the day, though, actually, there are two game of the days. We'll get to one later. Jackson Arnold revenge game at Oklahoma.
I think that's going to be a sneaky one to look at.
I mean, John Mateer has looked good for Oklahoma so far, but you gotta factor in some of the revenge here. And Jackson Arnold was not good at Oklahoma last year.
Yeah,
he got benched, but he's looked good at Auburn the first couple of weeks.
I mean, they beat Baylor, and Baylor has Sawyer Robinson on their team, who's looked like a great quarterback so far.
Parker Kelly, I believe, is one of Sawyer Robinson's biggest fans out there.
Yes, he is.
If no one else will shine the light on him, I will.
There you go. Yeah,
PK poll.
Listen to the air raid with Parker Kelly for more Sawyer Robertson knowledge. I kind of like Auburn in that game.
I know we're gonna get into Monday headlines here shortly.
Yep,
that is one I have given consideration.
You're dipping into that. Yeah, we are continuing Monday headlines this week. Last week, we did it on Friday. Me and Parker picked, trying to be Nostradamus a little bit and pick what are we going to be talking about on Monday on Friday. And
Yeah.
Parker nailed his college football one.
Recap it. What'd you do, Parker?
I picked Georgia Tech to beat Clemson outright, and then I picked Georgia by 3 over Tennessee.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, he did.
Nailed it.
He did nail those. We were off on our Titans ones. I forget, what did you pick for the Titans last week, Parker?
I said Rams win by I think Rams by double digits.
Okay, so maybe
They
you
did in
Yeah.
fact do that.
I had Calvin Ridley with a big game over 100 yards, and that
He did not do that.
So I was off on that. I picked Vandy to win in overtime over South Carolina.
They
so-
didn't. They didn't need that.
Iffy. They did not need overtime. I know they did not. But those are a couple of games. Like Auburn, I don't know if I believe in Hugh Freeze long term there.
No.
But they have surprised me that they've looked better. And Cam Coleman, he is one of the best wide receivers in
I
the
love
country.
Cam Coleman.
That is a guy that I would love to see in two-tone blue next year.
Yeah, he's fun. He's not. I mean, he's one of the sneaky under the radar guys that doesn't get a lot of national attention because he's behind Jeremiah Smith and Ryan
Right.
Williams. But he's. I mean, you could argue he's the top 3 receiver in the SEC.
Yeah, I
He's
got
that
him to
good.
I got him to transfer to Florida in my dynasty.
There you go. Coach Nunes back at Kentucky.
Baller.
We went home.
Really?
We went home.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, no, I like Auburn this weekend, and I guess we're going to have to wait for Connor for his Monday headlines. We're going to do one from the Titans, and one can be wide-ranging from NFL or college football. So we'll get into that coming up at 11:30. Couple of other big games across college football coming up this weekend. You've got, is it bad to call it the Bussin' Bowl? Michigan, Nebraska, Taylor Lewan, Will Compton.
I
battling it
forgot.
out.
Can I be honest with you? I forgot they existed until I saw them on SportsCenter.
Yeah,
talking about it the other day.
I stopped listening to them a long time ago, but
I will listen when they have like a big guest.
when they have Titans guests,
like
on, I listen.
Cam Ward was on a couple weeks ago.
They had
and-
Brian
and-
Callahan last year, so like
Yeah, and the Rand
Rand
interview.
one. Yeah. So I'll listen to those, but yeah, I don't listen as much anymore. But Michigan, Nebraska, Florida, Miami, we mentioned that one is where game day is. Could this be Sunbelt Billy's last stand? And a top 20 matchup between Illinois and Indiana. Who thought those words would ever be spoken? 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you want to text or call, our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We are out here at Preds Training Camp, while Parker Kelly is back at the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. DVD with Willie Donick, Derek Mason, and Adam Vingen will be broadcasting live from 3 to 6 p.m. at Jimmy Kelly's Steakhouse today as they celebrate the opening of their all-new rooftop dining area and bar. It's also a great place to go before the big Vanderbilt game tomorrow night. That is a 6:30 kick from First Bank Stadium. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. The Blue Raiders will host Marshall tomorrow at Floyd Stadium at 6 o'clock. Catch all of the action on Totally Hits 93.3 with coverage also available on the Totally Hits Nashville app and at totallyhitsnashville.com. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you on this Friday morning, getting you set for a big weekend of football. We'll talk Titans a little more later on, but we're on the college side right now. Some big games this weekend while both local teams have bye games, tune-up games this week. Vanderbilt facing Georgia State. I guess that wouldn't qualify as a bye game. It was a home-and-home. But Tennessee has UAB coming to Neyland Stadium. Couple of big games we haven't gotten to yet. Michigan, Nebraska. Interesting one. You got Dylan Raiola, Bryce Underwood, two highly regarded quarterbacks. I think Michigan's going to be good. But this is one where I feel like they could slip up. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good game.
Is this in the big house?
No, I believe it's in Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. It is in Lincoln. I really like a particular Nebraska wide receiver named Dane Key for no reason in particular, other than maybe you could sniff that one out. But yeah, I think this is the kind of game that Michigan can slip up, especially on the road. Nebraska is a tough environment to play in if you're a freshman quarterback like Bryce Underwood. And look, he's looked good so far. I don't think he's been the generational second coming of whatever, insert great quarterback here. He's been good, but not, legendary. I think this is the kind of game they can slip up in. And look, Matt Rule's got his boys playing. He's developing. They look better than they did last year. So, yeah, I totally think Nebraska could pull this one out.
Michigan's only a 1.5-point favorite. I would have thought it would be a little bit bigger than that. So
I would have thought Nebraska would have been favored.
Really? At home?
Just being at home.
Yeah.
Not by much.
I could see it.
Maybe a 1.5, half a point favorite.
Some other games across the landscape of college football, Miami and Florida. We talked about this one too.
It's going to be a woodshed smacking.
It's the game day chose to go to. And, they have to make tough decisions every week, right? Like there's usually more than one good game across college football.
They make some questionable choices, though.
But this one, you got three ranked on ranked matchups: Utah, Texas Tech, Auburn, Oklahoma, Illinois, Indiana. I feel like any of those three would have been better than Florida, Miami.
It's just for name value,
right? The programs are bigger.
We have two big programs in the state of Florida, and I think we're not taking into account the actual skill talent on each team. Miami's a good team. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I think they're a top 5 team in the nation right now. Florida is not a good team. So I think we're taking name value. And guys, look, it's Carson Beck versus DJ Lagway.
Right. Who just threw
5 picks in a game. I don't see the point. I would have gone to either Illinois, Indiana, or Utah, Texas Tech.
Yeah, I think Billy Napier is now on his way out. The LSU game, the defense played well, but you got Billy Napier there calling your plays, trying to get DJ Lagway. Like that,
he threw the ball 50 times.
Right, like that's supposed to be what is going to save your program is DJ Lagway, and he's kind of laid an egg through the first 3 weeks of the season.
I mean, 3 of his 5 picks last week were like Will Levis-esque throws.
It's not good in Florida, and I think there's going to be a change in Gainesville there shortly. Don't know if after this week, but I don't think if they get blown out by Miami, it's very possible.
They're in need of a bright, defensive-minded coach, and I know just the guy.
You're just trying to pawn Mark Stoops off on anybody.
I'm trying to set him up for the best opportunity possible.
See where he could go. Florida likely going to be in the Alex Golish sweepstakes. Maybe John Sumrall. I think those are the 2 hot names that could be coming for
John
SEC
Gruden.
jobs. John Gruden. Yeah,
he does it for free.
I mean, as a fan of a team who already has a head coaching opening, I have already heard all the names that it could possibly be. Nick Saban. He's not coming back.
I know who's pushing that out there.
No, there are lots of people pushing it out there.
But there's one guy in particular that's pushing that out there just for the sake of pushing it out there. I'm like, just stop.
I think Saban's done, especially with he doesn't want to go rebuild a program too.
He's done. especially college.
Michael Vick is being thrown out there for Virginia Tech's job.
I wonder why.
Because he's 3 games in at Norfolk State.
He's coming home, everyone.
I think D'Angelo Hall has been thrown out there too. Just all of the buzzword names. Shane Beamer, of course, being thrown out there. So Florida might be, maybe they bring back one of Tim Tebow for head coach.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
How hilarious would that be?
That would be so funny.
I bet he would do it too.
I bet he would.
And Florida,
if you want a great pregame speech, Tim Tebow's your guy.
Crazier things have happened. I wouldn't completely put it past Florida to at least approach that topic with Tim Tebow. Anyway, he's not fired yet. Sunbelt Billy taking on Miami coming up on Saturday night. Maybe his last chance to try and save his job. Illinois, Indiana, I think it is the most interesting game of the weekend. Like, who would have thought 3 years ago, you tell any fan of college football, like, Illinois is going to be a top 10 team playing a top 20 Indiana who's coming off a college football playoff experience.
They're good.
Appearance. Like, this is going to be a fun one. Brett Bielema.
I like Brett Bielema.
Kurt Signetti, that is a guy that I would love for Virginia Tech to hire.
He'll retire at Indiana.
I don't know, though. Like, he's
like 69.
He coached in James Madison.
Yeah.
And Indiana's always going to be more of a basketball school. And
they're more of a football school right now.
No, but he even said earlier this year, and I think it was kind of tongue in cheek, where he's saying, like, yeah, we wanted to bring more guys in the portal, but then we hired Darian DeVries and he took all the money because he lost his entire team. It's like, I think he knows that Indiana is always going to be a basketball school. Maybe he wants to go to a football school. Just putting it out there. And I use football school loosely as in a school that cares more about football than basketball.
Is Virginia Tech, I mean, no offense, but women's basketball is gone because I have that now from you.
You took Kenny.
Football has been mediocre for 20 years. 10. Basketball went out the window when Buzz left.
Mike Young's going to put together a pretty good team this year, by the way.
Okay.
Not like ACC champion, but like round of 32.
I couldn't tell you anything about Virginia Tech baseball.
Where did Mike Young come from?
Wofford,
that's right.
Yes.
I feel like things went downhill for Virginia Tech basketball when they lost Sean Padula.
Wofford just fired their head
this year.
I mean, the season Sean Padula's last season was horrible, and he left for Ole Miss.
Did you see this? Wofford just fired Dwight Perry because he is giving.
I saw the NCAA denied that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the NCAA came out and said, we have taken no sanctions on this school. And so.
Well, Wofford took action then.
Right. So
he'll be at Kentucky soon.
Anyway, long tangent to get back to Illinois, Indiana. That's a game that has college football playoff implications, which is it's so fun to say that.
Yeah.
Because that has never been the case before.
Yeah, I mean, it has Big Ten implications as well. I think on paper it's close, but I don't know. I'm just not in on Indiana. They have played no one. Parker can tell you we were watching them play Indiana State the other day, and they were just taking them to the woodshed because that's what they do. They schedule these, lesser FCS opponents, and that's their non-conference. And then you look at their conference schedule, and they don't play anyone.
No, they have a tough conference schedule this year.
Do they?
So, yeah, they played Old Dominion.
Tough as in Indiana tough or tough as in SEC level tough?
It's tough. They played Old Dominion, Kennesaw State, and Indiana State.
Wow.
But they do have tough games on the conference schedule. Illinois this week, who's a top 10 team. At Oregon in 3 weeks. Then at Penn State November 8th, towards the end of the season. And, you play Wisconsin, who they're not good, Michigan State, at Iowa. But those aren't, gimme games. It's not like you're playing Rutgers or –
yeah.
I mean, Purdue at the end of the season probably is going to be pretty easy. But, Purdue plays Notre Dame this week. That's a get-right game.
That's
for Marcus Freeman.
The Sam Hartman Bowl.
That game might end 75-0 because Notre Dame's going to be ticked off. They've lost back-to-back games to start the year.
Yeah, and then they'll win and shoot up to number 8.
Yeah. 1-2 Notre Dame. You are the 8th team in the college football playoff. It's going to be a fun weekend of college football, but it's hard not to look ahead to next week Like,
Yeah.
there are some good games this week, but next week we got at the same time, which good and bad, Penn State, Oregon, Georgia, Alabama.
2 fun ones.
And is it too early to say that's a must win for Alabama
No,
at home?
no, I think it's absolutely a must win.
Yeah. I mean, next weekend, that Saturday night might be the best weekend of college football we get all year. And we've had some good ones already, but that's going to be a fun one.
And Kentucky plays South Carolina. The battle of a potty word.
I'm very excited that Vandy's game next week is 11:45 a.m. kick against Utah State because I can go out there, work, and enjoy the game, and then get home right in time to get ready for those 2 big games.
Thank you for saying you're going home and not out to a bar to watch these games.
I
you got to lock in.
I'm not a huge fan of watching games out. Like, there are certain times that I will. Like, if it's a random Thursday night game or a Monday night game that I don't have a major interest in, I'm fine doing that. You know, if it's during the day on a Saturday. But yeah, if there's games I want to lock in for, your couch is the place to do it.
Yeah, I'll go to the bar on Friday at 8 a.m. to watch the replay. I'm just kidding. I don't really go to bars. I went to a bar last week with Chase, and that's about it.
I love it. The suit and the mini suit.
The rifleman.
The rifleman.
I don't like the rifleman that much.
Man,
Don't tell Joe.
Too bad.
Brandon and Hermitage just rubbing it in. He goes, "Love you, Jake, but your Tigers are blowing it. Scoobs for Cy and go Jays." Yeah, it's been bad.
I thought we weren't talking about baseball today.
No, we're not going to. But if the Tigers blow a 14.5 game lead in the last 2 months of the season,
I guess practice is over.
They need to blow it up. Yeah,
everyone's gone.
Looks like things are wrapping up here at Preds training camp. It was great to talk to Michael Bunting last hour. Talk to him about what he's expecting for this season. He says the Preds going to play with a chip on their shoulder this year, looking to prove the experts wrong once again. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We got 30 minutes left in the show. Chase and Big Joe coming up at the top of the hour. Coming up next, time to give our Monday headlines. What are we going to be talking about after this sports weekend? We'll do it next. Jake Lyman, Parker Kelly, Connor Newton, next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5, the game final half hour on this Friday. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly with you.
What is this?
Connor, you've never heard the song before?
I don't know if I have
I don't think
either.
I don't. Who is
TD
it?
would be disappointed in both of you.
Oh, wait. No, you did. Yeah, you played this for TD a couple weeks ago. Is this the girl that we were trying to get to text in?
This is TD's fantasy wife, Keisha Cole.
Yeah.
Unfamiliar.
We were telling Keisha Cole that she should call in and talk to TD a couple of weeks ago.
I apologize, TD. I don't know who that is, but TD teaches me a lot about music, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll add this one. to the
That
rotation.
is true. I learn a lot from the bump music when TD is on, and make sure to follow along with TD. We should be getting Titans practice updates in the next couple hours. See if Tavondre Sweat, J.C. Latham, L'Jarius Sneed all out there, and we will finish up the show with the Titans. But it is time for some Monday headlines on Friday. Let's guess what we are going to be talking about after this weekend of sports. Let's start with the Titans. Last week, I did not do well on this. Parker Kelly did. Connor Newt, what is your Titans Monday headline? What are we going to be leading off the show with on Monday morning?
I think the Titans win in an absolute barn burner,
Wow.
and I think they win 17-13.
Wow.
And I think Cam Ward has 2 touchdowns.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Passing,
2 touchdowns for Cam Ward and a 17-13 Titans win. I am going to go, we've gotten so close twice now, back-to-back weeks. Chim Dike finally ends the drought and brings back a return touchdown this weekend.
We should have got it last week.
70-yard kickoff return 2 weeks ago against Denver. Last week he had it. It got called back on a penalty on Cedric Gray. This week it finally gets done. I'm not going to specify kick or punt, but I think Chim Dike takes one to the house this weekend. Parker Kelly, what is your Titans Monday headline?
So I believe the Titans are going to fall to 0-3. I believe there's a little bit of fool's gold with this whole Indiana Jones Colts offense not punting in the first 2 games, but I don't think the Titans are good enough to expose that. So I think the Titans go to 0-3. The Colts move to 3-0.
All right. So you're on the Titans. Parker's on the Colts.
It's me and Robbie.
I guess
against the world.
do I have to make a pick here? Like, I haven't actually made a pick.
Yeah,
Break the tie, Jake. Come on.
I'm going Titans.
Yes.
I'm going to go Titans. I've said that I think it needs to be a convincing win for Brian Callahan. Like, that's what he needs. I don't know if it's going to be quite that.
No.
I'm going to go 20-16 Titans.
Yeah.
Titans win 20-16. I think it's a little more high scoring than what you had, Connor, but not much.
Yeah.
So I will take the Titans. And
You thought I was going to say, like, Titans win 45
when
to 42.
Barn burner. I was like, are we going to get
You should know me by
49,
now.
45?
An
I have an
offensive
attitude now.
masterclass, perhaps?
Yeah,
Coach Jay Pierce would be so proud of you for using that word.
I'm going Titans, and one of their 2 touchdowns will be on a Chim Dike return touchdown. All right. Other one can be wide open. We did college football last week because there was just a ton going on. But if you have an NFL headline, you're welcome to do that. Connor, what is your headline outside of the Titans?
I think I kind of teased it earlier. I was thinking about this in the shower yesterday. I think Auburn and Jarnold exact revenge on
Wow.
Oklahoma. I think Jackson Arnold has 3 combined touchdowns, and the Tigers take down the Sooners.
Go into Norman and get the win. I like it. I thought about doing something like that. I'm going to go with an upset.
If you say Florida, I'm going to punch you.
Not Florida. I don't believe in the Billy Napier experience that much.
Are you going to talk about SEC champion Iowa State?
I'm not. We're going to Oxford, Mississippi,
Uh-oh.
where John Sumrall
Go
and
Cats,
the
baby.
Tulane Green Wave beat the Ole Miss Rebels.
I could see it. Austin Simmons isn't playing.
I'm calling it outright. Tulane gets the win. Ole Miss every year. It was Kentucky last year.
Yep.
Ole Miss always loses a game they shouldn't. And I think this is going to be the one they do. Tulane's too talented of a team to look past them. I think the Green Wave get the win this weekend.
I mean, it's between them.
The suit's on board with
he
me.
agrees. It's between them and USF for me as far as who's going to represent G5 in the playoff.
No, I mean, it is.
And it's very early, so
Right.
something could change. But right now, those are the 2 for me.
Right. I think those are the two obvious ones. Boise State losing to USF early on the season kind of made them fall out of that. But the good news is that it'll kind of sort itself out with South Florida and Tulane playing in the same conference because only one of them can win the conference championship.
I think one more for you, since Chase is sitting right next to me. We're doing the Tennessee three-step again this weekend. Tennessee's winning over UAB. Vandy's winning over Georgia State. MTSU is winning over Marshall.
Wow. Okay. Marshall did lose a lot of talent this year
Mhm.
with their head coach bolting for Southern Miss.
Which, by the way, those two teams are top 10 in the nation in TFLs.
Oh,
So
interesting.
Should be a fun defensive game.
Parker, what is your Monday headline? College football, NFL, where are you going?
All right, if you happen to be a betting man out there, I want you to listen real closely because I'm about to make you some money. All right,
Ricky Merritt,
Arkansas is at Memphis, 11 a.m. on ABC. Arkansas is favored by -7.5. I think Arkansas wins, but I'm going to take Memphis plus the points.
Okay.
Thank you, Pigskin Pick'em.
Yeah, I like it. So you got Memphis. Is that what did Adam say? That's his silly underdog pick too?
Yeah, but he regrets it
Maybe.
because he likes Tulane over Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And
I
unlike
do
Connor, I haven't been thinking about this in the shower. So
I think about a lot in the shower. I sing white girl music in the shower, which we've been singing so eloquently today.
that's been the theme of the show so far.
I expect one more.
Wait, yeah, you got one more.
You got one more opportunity.
Bump here, Parker, to make Connor proud.
To seize everything you ever
one
wanted.
more.
I almost went with this one as my headline. If we're going to go to the NFL, I almost went with Jake Browning putting up a big game in Minnesota
Because he always does that.
Just like Jake Browning, calms the nerves of Bengals fans, I guess would be my headline. Jake Browning calms the nerves around Cincinnati and puts up a big game and a Bengals win. But then I realized, I was like, man, that's a Brian Flores defense he's facing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel all that good about
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would harp on Carson Wentz maybe having a good day.
that. Yeah. I mean, with no JJ.
JJ's not looked good.
Carson Wentz, as much as people will talk about how bad he's been, and since the injury in what would have been an MVP season for him, the Super Bowl season for the Eagles, he hasn't been good. But the talent's still there, and I don't think he's going to be. I think he'll be fine for the Vikings.
He'll be serviceable.
And the Bengals defense is
not good.
I mean, they got Trey Hendrickson.
That's it.
That's about it. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. If you have Monday headlines, if you want to make a guess at what we're going to be talking about after the weekend, we'd love to hear from you. 615-737-1025. I am on the Titans and Chim Dike having a return touchdown. Connor is saying Titans win. Cam Ward with 2 touchdowns in a low-scoring game. Parker is going Colts. Did you have anything additional on that, Parker, or just you're taking the Colts to win the game?
I'm just taking the Colts to win. I don't have a particular stat in mind, but I think the Colts will win this game.
And then the rest of our headlines, I've got Tulane over Ole Miss, upset in Oxford. Connor taking the Jackson Arnold revenge game. Auburn and Hugh Freeze get the win in Norman. And Parker taking Memphis and the points in his upset pick there. So
no. Arkansas will win,
No,
but
took-
right.
Memphis,
Sorry.
yeah.
You're
Memphis
taking
will cover.
Memphis with
Yeah,
the points.
yeah,
is
yeah.
what I meant. Yes. So those are our Monday headlines. What we think's going to happen over the weekend. Let us know if you have any thoughts. College football, NFL, Titans, anything goes. 615-737-1025. We'll take one final break. When we come back, we'll give our final look at this Titans and Colts game on Sunday at Nissan Stadium and get you off to chasing Big Joe. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly, next man up, 1025 The Game. Oh, wow. We went Camp Rock for the
I'm
last
so
break.
happy with you.
This
Oh.
is a deep cut from
Yeah, this
Camp
is-
Rock,
this
too.
is a
Like,
deep
this
one.
isn't even one of the most popular ones. Well done, Parker.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
I like it.
You've succeeded.
Yes, that is a check plus from Parker Kelly on his last bump of the day. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Connor Newt, Parker Kelly. Wrapping up the show on this Friday, big weekend of football. Titans and Colts coming up on Sunday from Nissan Stadium. Titans trying to avoid an 0-3 start for the second straight year. Chase and Big Joe are coming up after us. We just went through our Monday headlines. Me and Connor think the Titans are going to win. Parker's on the Colts.
We stand with Robbie.
Wes in Clarksville is very pessimistic. He says, I think the Titans get shut out. They won't even score. And Monday we will be talking about when will they fire Callie.
Well, we've been talking about that for like 2 weeks.
Right. Honestly, even if they win the game, that's probably still going to be a conversation next week, which is it's tough unless they really show up and win like 35-14 on Sunday, which not going to happen. But
Yeah.
if they did that, I think maybe those conversations go away at least for 1 week. Let's talk about this game. I think this is a decent matchup for the Titans.
Yeah.
You're not facing an elite pass rush. You're not facing an elite secondary. If this offense is going to get going, this is the game to do it. And if you don't do it now, I just wonder if it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's really going to tell you what kind of a team the Titans are. And we think we know. We think they're a really bad football team. But if they go out and look, the Colts have caught fire in the first 2 weeks. They've looked good. I don't think that tells you the full story. I don't think the Colts are that good of a team. The Texans are 0-2 right now. Right. I think the Texans are a far better team than the Colts are. So, look, the Colts could very well come in here, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned this. The Titans do this really cute thing where they make a bad quarterback look really, really good.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones, I don't think is a good quarterback. He's looked good through 2 weeks, but take out the microscope and look across his entire career. He has not been a good quarterback.
Yeah.
So maybe he's found some new light in his new home in Indianapolis, but overall, I don't think he's a good quarterback. My point is the Titans do this really cute thing where they make a bad quarterback look good, like Malik Willis, for example, last year. Did it with Mac Jones in Jacksonville. Actually, they won that game, did they not?
No, they lost both games to Jacksonville last year.
Last season.
They beat the Texans on the road.
That's right. And then New England
and Miami. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Callahan still has more preseason wins than regular season wins. Like that, it can't happen. And again, it's like
bad.
If he's going to save his job, it has to start now. Like they're not going to fire him yet, but if you lose this game, it just feels like the slope is going to get too slippery and it's just going to spiral out of control. Like I don't really see a path to come back unless they just go on the road and find something, which
can I give you one more headline?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your headline?
If they win this game, Brian Callahan will cry in the post-game presser.
I kind of like that, especially if they win it big. You know, it's one of those things where like
we needed this one.
The team played for me.
Yeah. Does he finish his quiche after he cries or before?
Quiche. Does he yell at Paul?
Well, it's tough because I really do like Brian Callahan.
Yeah,
like, I think
he's a nice guy.
Everything that he does comes from a good place, and I think he is flexible enough to try and change things to be successful.
But that can't be your biggest compliment of him.
No, I know.
He's a nice guy.
You need results, 100%, and like he has to start showing results right now. Like,
right,
you need a win this weekend bad, but like I do like at least he seems to have the mindset of somebody who can improve. There are some guys, Ken Wisenhunt is the guy that everybody's comparing Brian Callahan to.
Yeah.
From all reports, Ken Wisenhunt had no interest in changing anything he did to try and change what was going on, and that's why he got fired. He went 3-20 and ended up getting let go.
Who's 3-20 right now?
Brian Callahan is 3-16. So, you know,
he's almost there.
He's got 4 games to try and figure it out. And, you know, 4 games leads you right into New England. So when New England comes here.
Yeah.
So I'm rooting for the guy. I really think that he wants to be successful, and I think he's trying to do everything he can to change the way things are going. But until you start seeing it, you can't believe that it's going to get better.
It's smoke and mirrors, man, on both sides. If the Titans go out there and win this game, I don't want to hear we were wrong about Brian Callahan. He could very well coach a great game. And I don't think you're going to hear that.
No, Brian Callahan is not one game away from everybody believing that he's a good coach.
We're a long way away from that.
You got to see it throughout the whole season. Like, you have to see from now until January that this team is progressing towards a spot where you leave this season feeling like next year they could be a playoff team. Like, that's where this team needs to be after this year.
And they're a long way from that.
Not saying they're going to be a playoff team next year, but you need to leave this season feeling like the team got better. You're seeing growth from some of the young pieces that can become your new core. And next year, they could take a jump.
Yeah.
This team doesn't have to win 9 games to show progress, but you got to win at least 5 or 6.
And be competitive in others.
Right. And I guess if there's one thing you can say about these first 2 games, they've been competitive. They let it get away from them at the end against the Rams, but they have hung in there against these 2 teams. It's not good enough to just hang in there. This week against a team in the Colts that I know the Indy fans seem to think that they are the 85 Bears after winning 2 games, but this is a team that the Titans can beat at home and need to beat if they're going to get this season back on track.
I'm just tired of, they almost did it.
Right.
They were competitive. I want to come on here on Monday. I won't be on Monday, but I want to come on here and talk about a win.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how good the Titans look. I'm tired of the negativity, man. I'm tired of talking about Brian Callahan being fired and how Cam Ward has no help. I want to go back to this team being good like the rest of you, but that's just the reality. We don't live in that world right now.
Right.
It's a bad team.
No, it does get a little exhausting talking about how bad this team is and everything that they need to work on. But you look at the roster's not going to change all that much throughout the season. Like,
no.
You'll cycle some guys in and out, but this is the team that you've got for this year. And this is not a playoff team. So you can't expect them to be a playoff team. But you've got to start seeing that the coach is improving the guys that he does have until they can get some better players in next offseason.
Yeah, it's just we're a long way away from success with this team, it feels like.
It doesn't have to be that way, though.
Yeah.
Like, it really doesn't. The NFL, it can flip in the blink of an eye if you have the quarterback.
I just think they get in their own way. That's the problem.
No, and that's a Brian Callahan issue right now. And that's why
he overthinks things.
That's why I think if you asked anybody, media, fans, is Brian Callahan going to be the coach in week 1 next year? I bet 99% of people would say no.
I'm in that 99%.
I'm in that 99% too. But if you have the quarterback, things can flip quickly. And so far, it feels like you have the makings of a franchise quarterback in Cam Ward. Can you continue to develop that? And then this offseason, you got to add pieces around him. Wide receivers. You got to add to the defense. You need an edge rusher. You need cornerbacks. Like, if you can have a good offseason this year and Cam Ward is the guy, you just got to have the coach. And Brian Callahan's got to prove that he can be that guy. That starts Sunday at Nissan Stadium.
At least hockey's coming up.
Yes, that is true.
I feel some sort of excitement that there's a playoff caliber team there.
Yes, at least hockey is coming up. It's been a blast being out here at Preds training camp today, getting to speak.
Turning the lights off on us.
They turned the lights off out in the rink there, but getting to watch through the window here as we're set up in the conference room and getting to see some of the guys back out there on the ice, getting to talk to Max Hers, Michael Bunting stopped by. It's been fun. And I can't believe it. Hockey off season always flies by.
Right.
And we are less than 3 weeks away from the opener at not Nissan, Bridgestone Arena.
That'd be cool.
It would be cool at Nissan Stadium. They've done that before. And on Sunday, doubleheader right here on 102.5 The Game. So make sure you tune in. It's been fun being out here. Titans and Colts coming up on Sunday. We will see if on Monday morning we're talking about a 1-2 team or a winless team for the second straight year after 3 games. For Connor Newt and Parker Kelly, I'm Jake Lyman signing off. We will talk to you on Monday at 9 a.m. Chasing Big Joe live from Preds Training Camp coming right up after this. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.